question, what is the highest number on a standard roulette wheel? 215-263-WMMR. It's Mike that we're going to go over the answer. Hey, Mike, what's up, buddy?
How you doing?
Good, man.
Hi, Mike.
Mike, what is the highest number on a standard roulette wheel, please?
36, Dane.
36.
Yeah.
Did you say 36?
He did.
Okay. Hang on, Mike.
Hi, Mike.
All right, Mike, we're going to set you up with a pair of tickets to see Brian Regan, January 14th, Miller Theater in Center City. Some tickets remain. You can go to WMMR.com for more information. All right, let's get into the entertainment stories. We'll start with this. Prince Harry claims that he and Prince William got into an actual physical fist fight over Meghan Markle. Yeah. Excerpts from Harry's forthcoming book, Spare, obtained by The Guardian, say that the brothers got into a shouting match after the Prince of Wales referred to Markle as difficult, rude, and abrasive. And according to the Duke of Sussex, the heir to the throne, quote, grabbed me by the collar, ripping my necklace, and he knocked me to the floor.
Wow.
The spill caused him to fall into a dog bowl in the kitchen where they fought and left visible bruising.
He says that the queen then got up on the counter and did like a wrestling move.
What?
Yeah.
From the top
From
turnbuckle?
the top turnbuckle.
Wow.
Where is this information coming from? Is it from the show? Is that why it's being...
He's teasing this information.
It's from him.
He's
It's coming
releasing
out in
his
the book.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Harry writes that William urged him to hit back, but he refused. Not long after, the future king looked, quote, regretful, and he apologized to him. Spare drops on January 10th. But they're brothers. Brothers are going to...
That's what they do.
It happens.
You know.
Brothers got a hug.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
Do
don't
you think he
shake.
gave him a purple nurple?
You would hope so.
I fought with my brothers all the time. I was the oldest. I had two younger brothers, and then my youngest brother, Josh, started playing hockey and got bigger and stronger than me. And I was like, I don't feel
Let's
like fighting my
find
brothers.
a peaceful solution.
Right? Yeah, let's negotiate this.
You've got to learn how to negotiate.
Twitch from the Ellen DeGeneres show was honored at a private ceremony on Wednesday. His name was Stephen Boss. Family members, including his wife, Allison, gathered to say goodbye to the former Ellen DeGeneres show DJ, of course, who died by suicide on December 13th. He was only 40 years old. Source told E! News a larger celebration of life for friends that Stephen considers family will be put together in the future. So they're still, mourning
Seems like
his passing.
forever ago.
I know. A 911 call log reveals that Jeremy Renner was, quote, completely crushed after the snowplow ran over him earlier this week. And mind you, it's like a snowcat.
Yeah,
These are
huge.
big shreds. It's really, really big. According to an emergency log obtained by TMZ, Renner could be heard moaning in the background of the call and was experiencing heavy bleeding from his head. The log notes also said that after the star was run over by the snowcat, his chest collapsed and his upper torso was crushed.
Well, listen, that level of damage, that's why seeing that selfie that he took is so encouraging, because you'd
He's
figure,
awake.
how do you survive that?
Well, I have a feeling that, and something happened to my dad when he was a kid, because he grew up on a farm community, and his brother was driving a tractor, and my dad went and tried to jump up on the tractor as it was moving, lost his footing, fell. The tractor ran over him.
Right.
Those gigantic wheels, like 5 foot tall wheel went over him, but it was on ground that had been tilled recently. And so it pushed him down into the ground, and he survived because it ran right across his chest. I would
amazing.
imagine that there had to have been snow, because there's no way you survive
On pavement.
with the weight of a vehicle like that. So that was probably the saving detail in this whole story. And I still want to know more when he feels better and he starts to talk about this, exactly what happened. I want to hear from him how that came to be, that he ended up underneath that machine.
You know what? As you get up on that thing, and that's the vehicle that we use when we were at the Cardboard Classic, obviously, to take us from the broadcast site to the Classic itself. And when you're stepping up on those treads, it's not like it's very firm. There's a lot of give to the treads.
Yeah. In the lead up to the accident, the actor was removing snow from his driveway so that members of his family could leave. He was also clearing snow from a neighbor's driveway and helping a stranded motorist. He's currently in the intensive care unit in a Nevada hospital. recovering from 2 surgeries for blunt chest trauma and orthopedic injury. So hopefully he'll be checked out of there soon. And but he's definitely on the mend. He posted a selfie yesterday, and he's doing a little bit better. So we'll keep an eye on that. Ashley Olsen married her longtime beau, artist Louis Eisner, in a hush-hush ceremony at a private Bel Air home last week. Only a few dozen guests attended the event on December 28th. Specifics about the ceremony are unclear, but one insider told Page Six that it went late with about 50 people or so total.
Did they have a cigarette bar?
That's the other one.
And he's like age appropriate for her.
Yes. Olsen has been dating Eisner since 2017, but the public are intensely private and rarely appear together in public. They only even appeared on red carpet together for the first time last September. The event was a celebration for young Eisner scholars, a nonprofit founded by Eisner's dad, attorney Eric Eisner, who was once the president of the David Geffen Company. The groom's mother is Lisa Eisner, the jewelry designer and one-time West Coast editor of Vogue. So last year, Eisner, who is 33, by the way, shared a rare photo of his girlfriend as they hiked together with the Row fashion designer carrying a machete along a hiking trail.
It was their engagement machete.
Olsen's twin Mary Kate was presumably a guest. She settled her divorce last year with her financier ex-husband Olivier Sarkozy. So now
she's you don't hear that much about her. Well, okay, cool.
And Ashley is now hitched, so they seem to be happy. Good for them.
They were able to breach $1 billion years ago, right?
Oh yeah,
their empire.
Twins?
Yeah, they.
I remember that being the story. Yeah.
Right? Yeah,
it was like $1 billion.
Yeah,
that's their financial planner.
But I just don't know what their company even is anymore.
Right?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I have no idea. I know that they were involved in fashion,
multimedia.
Yeah,
they had a couple things going.
What they do now, I'm not sure. Khloe Kardashian says it's mean to comment on her recent weight loss.
I don't want to hear it.
An Instagram troll called the reality star's figure skinny and disturbing Tuesday.
Shut up!
And accused her of using the anti-diabetic medication semaglutide. No, semaglutide.
That's
semaglutide.
Snaggletooth.
That's Ozempic?
That's Ozempic, yeah.
Because I've heard like 3. We had that story yesterday, and it had a couple different names, and semaglutide wasn't one of them.
My guess is she did use it.
So they said, she's using it to achieve her new look. The Kardashian star clapped back, saying, "Let's not discredit my years of working out. I get up 5 days a week from at 6 a.m. to train. Please stop your assumptions. I guess New Year still means mean people." She definitely lost a fair amount of weight.
Yeah.
You know who I saw recently who does not look right? You could show me a picture of her, and I'd say, "Who is that?"
Right.
Is Jessica Simpson.
Yes.
Oh no.
Looks weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
Really
clearly either getting injections in her face or has had work done, and she's lost a tremendous amount of weight, and it doesn't look healthy.
Like it looks like she's gotten Botox shots in her eyes.
Yeah. Kathy, you pulling up pictures?
Trying to find
You can
her.
find her. Go on her Instagram.
Oh, she's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, she looks weird.
We're looking at a photo of her right now. That's not quite. There's ones where she's wearing makeup and kind of dolled up going out for the night, and it just does not look like her. So
Why do people screw around with the way they look?
So Khloe says it's mean to comment on her recent weight loss.
Well, she spends a whole bunch of time posting pictures of herself.
Yeah.
So that's going to be part of the deal.
Yep. Eric Dane and Rebecca Gayheart sparked reconciliation rumors after being photographed holding hands on a family vacation.
Well, I didn't even know they'd split.
I know, I didn't either. And I've probably reported on it before.
Right.
I just don't care. According to Page Six, the estranged couple took a trip to Cabo with their kids and stayed close with the Grey's Anatomy alum, keeping his arm around Gayheart or holding her hand as they disembarked from a boat.
So he was Steamy. She's McQueefy. And so she was the one, right? Didn't she have a vehicular homicide?
She did, yeah. I mean, are they holding hands, or is he just helping her, like not fall?
Yeah, I think he's steadying her.
He
in
got
this
her off the
photo.
boat, Casey. He's like, here you go. I'm going to give you a hand.
Don't touch me.
They're not divorced yet. I guess they're just separated. But they've been separated since 2018.
Oh, okay.
And
That seems kooky.
Yeah, they never finalized it according to this.
They're still technically married, and her name on Instagram is Rebecca Gayheart Dane.
All right.
They have a daughter named Billy who is 12, and another one named Georgia who is 11.
Oh, Billy.
I'm going to try to hit all the names today. If I can.
Thank you.
Sure.
Social media users are accusing Teresa Giudice of modeling a fake Chanel bikini on Instagram.
Gee.
Yes. How dare you?
You whore.
You filthy whore.
Filthy whore.
In a poolside photo,
Who could tell?
She posed in a black bikini with the interlocking white Chanel C's stitched on the top. An Instagram account called The Real Bad Fashions posted side-by-side shots of the alleged knockoff.
Liar, whore, and you know it.
One more time, Case.
Okay.
Liar, whore, and you know it.
So, yeah,
That's when the whores come in.
side-by-side shots of the alleged knockoff and legitimate designer goods, with one commenter adding, she ironed on that CC herself.
I was a whore.
Liar whore, liar whore.
Liar whore.
Liar, whore, and you know it.
Well, we know what one of those C's stands for, you know? She looks great, by the way.
She looks fantastic.
She competed in Preston in a fitness competition. She got completely cut up. Did she?
No
Oh,
way.
yes, she did. If you look at pictures of her, I think that's how she got this body transformation. Now she's softened a little bit. It looks more correct. But she competed in fitness competitions.
So you guys don't care about the fake C's on her?
I don't care.
Okay.
I don't know. I still think she's a whore.
Liar, whore, and you know it.
I just love that clip. All right, let's see. Andy Cohen says he never snubbed Ryan Seacrest.
Oh, this freaking thing.
That lying whore.
Liar, whore, and you know it.
The Dick Clark's Rock and Eve host said on Live with Kelly and Ryan, remember we said this yesterday, that Anderson Cooper turned around and waved on New Year's Eve.
Hi!
Cohen didn't bother to
I thought they were friends, though.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Who? Anderson Cooper and Andy Cohen?
Yeah.
No, they are. They
but
were
it's
together.
Ryan Seacrest was the one who
Oh,
got
Ryan
the.
Seacrest. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
So the Bravo personality said on Andy Cohen Live Wednesday that he didn't even see Ryan. He said, usually if Cooper's waving at Ryan, he'll say to me, hey, there's Ryan. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I'll turn around and wave or say, I'll say, there's Ryan. But he didn't do that.
No.
So I don't know.
Liar, whore, and you know it.
Lying whore.
Also, like, you're working, it's live TV. Like, maybe he just was busy.
Exactly.
It's like a 4-day story, this freaking thing.
So the end is nearing for Stranger Things, and Sadie Sink is bracing for a bittersweet goodbye. Sink spoke candidly with today's Hoda Kotb and Jenna Bush on Wednesday morning about the cliffhanger season 4 ending and what's to come after the Netflix hit's 5th and final season. She's like the rest of the world, Sink admittedly doesn't know much about it. She said what we know that is happening and that it's the last season. So it's going to be emotional, I'm sure. She was on to promote her latest film, The Whale, by the way, but she is talking about Stranger Things.
Right. So I'll be curious to see where they take this. Obviously, they've been fighting over the course of years and production, the cast getting older, you know, and having to sort of explain that. I wonder if they'll take the full leap into the 90s.
Well, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Given her condition, and I don't want to give any spoilers away.
Yeah.
So, but she said, spoiler free, just with the way my character ended in season 4, I have no idea what's going to happen, but I'll be there. Looking ahead, Sink, who is now 20, by the way, is already sentimental about the end of the series. She's played Max since she was 14 now. She said, it's going to be awful. It's going to be horrible. These kids, this entire cast and the crew, it's family. People say that all the time, but I genuinely mean it. And to think that we have to say goodbye to that security of knowing that we're going to be seeing each other for another season, she said it's scary and sad, But I think it's exciting to kind of move on to the next chapter, I guess.
I think when you're so the word is they're going to do a Stranger Things spinoff.
Okay.
Right. And so if they do that and they do that with kids, shoot a couple of seasons at once.
Yeah. So because the aging, they can age out.
It's going to be an issue.
I just adore this series. It's just my favorite. I got a new Hellfire Club mug for Christmas.
There you go.
I brought it in today, so I'm excited about the next season, but I don't want it to end.
Do you know what?
So a spinoff would be awesome.
If you wanted to explain to someone what pop culture during the time period depicted in the show was about, what horror and sci-fi and movies were kind of doing. I mean, this is as good a thumbnail sketch of that period as you could possibly get.
Maybe that's part of the reason I love it so much.
Right.
You know, that was my era.
And it's not just, it's like with mall life and all of that stuff. They nailed it.
Yeah. I didn't hear, when is this spinoff?
I kind of figured.
I don't know.
Oh, the spinoff, that's it's in the planning
Is
stages.
it going to be Perfect Stranger Things?
Yeah, Perfect Stranger Things.
That's not a bad idea at all.
I'd love to see that.
Balky and
Cousin Laddie
Appleton. They have some kind of a demon come up out of the ground in their apartment, and who knows?
In the middle of the Dance of Joy, it summons the demon.
So she's obviously sad, but she said their connection on the show amongst each others is very, very strong. All right, we are happy to announce that a friend of ours has something going on. Oscar-winning composer Michael Giacchino will make his big screen directing debut with a reboot of the 1954 sci-fi man-eating monster movie Them. Giacchino is meeting with writers in hopes of getting the production up quite soon.
That is one of my all-time favorite science fiction movies. It is The Giant Ants. I don't know if you've seen it. You've probably seen stills from it. But I tweeted out, I'm confident he's got this because he loves this kind of stuff.
In the original film, which also was a Warner Brothers release, a huge nest of irradiated ants are discovered in the New Mexico desert and become a national threat. When two young queen ants and their consorts escape to set up new nests. The national search that ensues culminates in a battle of spillways and storm drains in Los Angeles.
You know what's so good about it is that they go in systematically, Preston. It is basically at one level a procedural. Like they talk to a pilot who says, I saw the weirdest plane I've ever seen, flying, buzzing my plane, and then they're talking, they're picking up, they're doing this extensive search, and they do it in a smart way. The script is really well written, and so obviously it's an outlandish thing, but they make it work. It's great.
So he had said, there's always a movie in your mind that never leaves your head, and for me, that's Them. And it wasn't until much later in life that I learned what it was about, the nuclear age. And he said, what I love about Them is exactly what it's called, Them. It's about the other, the unknown, which one refuses or can't understand. And the current version of Them is about immigration and to tell a story about the subject through a lens of this insane science fiction monster movie. He teased, so he's looking forward to it. So that's cool, man. So this is going to be a full-on theatrical production from our friend,
the question
Michael
is,
Giacchino.
So I would hate to think, but it might, the composing.
He's going to do it.
Well, but do the music for it. But can he go on and be as prolific composing? I mean, to be honest, I love his music so much, but I want to see the directing stuff open up for him like this.
So he also plans to have his brother Anthony, who's a filmmaker as well, involved in the production as well. So he's going to get some assistance from him because he directed the movie that was about the making of Werewolf by Night, which Michael Giacchino directed, but Anthony directed the documentary called Director by Night.
I mean,
and we are in that.
Yes,
I assume,
you are.
I assume that that there's going to be a whole bunch of
radio stuff.
Well, no, like soldiers and stuff like that. I'm just saying we could probably be background players in this movie. You know what I'm saying?
You want to ask him and see if he's got room for us as
paging Mr. Herbert.
Call at the front desk. I don't know him as well as you do, but I feel like probably
see if there's a bit roll.
Helmet on us and
how about they put an ant costume on you?
Yeah,
that'd be real cool.
Yeah.
So you want to be an extra?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll ask him. All right.
Make it happen.
Hugh Jackman took to social media Wednesday to beg the Academy not to nominate Ryan Reynolds for an Oscar.
This is great.
We have a clip of this. Here we go.
Don't get me wrong. I loved Spirited. And by the way, the song Good Afternoon, I laughed the entire way through. It is absolutely brilliant. However, Ryan Reynolds getting a nomination in the best song category would make the next year of my life insufferable. I mean, I have to spend a year with him shooting Wolverine and Deadpool, and trust me, it would be impossible. Please, from the bottom of my heart, do not validate Ryan Reynolds in this way, please.
So he's pleading with the Academy to not nominate him. Speaking of superhero stuff, Dave Bautista is glad that his time playing Drax the Destroyer is coming to an end. The Guardians of the Galaxy star told GQ in a new profile, he said, "I'm so grateful for Drax. I love him. But there's a relief that it's over." He said, "It wasn't all pleasant. It was hard playing that role. The makeup process was beating me down."
Yeah,
he got tired of having his shirt off all the time, too. Like, literally, it being in that shape, and that's why in the Christmas special and in the next one, in the Guardians 3 movie, he's not shirtless.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he was like, it was taxing on him having to be in that shape all the time. So if you watch the trailers and in the Christmas special, he's not always not wearing a shirt.
He said, "And I just don't know if I want Drax to be my legacy. It's a silly performance, and I want to do more dramatic stuff."
It's such a great character, and the Christmas special was terrific. It's basically it's Mantis and then they're going after Kevin Bacon, and it's hilarious. I loved it.
I really liked him in Glass Onion too. I thought he was terrific.
Well, he's got look at his resume. He's got Dune, Glass Onion, and he's got the new M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Yep.
I mean that's pretty heavy duty.
He's doing well.
That's pretty heavy duty.
Paul McCartney.
I'm a big fan of Bautista.
Dave Bautista fan. I did not know that. Are you into Drax?
Absolutely, okay. Guardians. Yeah. Quite a chuckle.
Yeah. When he gets all loop-de-loop.
Loop-de-loop and whip-de-woo. Yeah. You go into space and you're going, what's
Had no idea. Sarah Michelle Gellar is done with the Buffy the Vampire Slayer franchise. She told SFX magazine that she has no interest in starring as Buffy Summers in a reboot of the former WB drama. She said, "I'm very proud of the show that we created, and it doesn't need to be done. We wrapped that up." So I guess maybe there were rumors, or they were just
There's always rumors.
Posing that.
They'll probably do it anyway at some point. I loved Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It was just a terrific show. And Preston, also one of the best video games. An unsung hero in the video game world was the Buffy the Vampire Slayer video game.
Had no idea. And then the final story I have for you, Stephen Amell will reprise the role of Oliver Queen, a.k.a. the Green Arrow, for the final season of The Flash.
Yeah.
Variety has, I didn't even know it was still on. Variety has confirmed the actor will appear in the 9th episode of Season 9, and he'll be joining other previously announced guest stars, David Ramsey, Keenan Lonsdale, and Sendhil There are a couple of M's in there. Ramamurthy.
I'll tell you this.
Ramamurthy.
It just got to be too much. No, the first 3 seasons of Arrow, terrific. Loved it. And then it started to go off the rails a bit. And then with The Flash again, I watched the first few seasons, loved it.
Yeah.
And then they sort of multiversed me into I'm out.
Yep.
Too much.
Yep, sometimes they get that way. All right, we're ready for clips. Here we go. A veteran detective investigates a series of grisly murders with the help of a young cadet who will eventually go on to become the world-famous author Edgar Allan Poe in the page.
Pennsylvania State Police has issued an Amber Child abduction alert for the New Jersey State Police. The New Jersey State Police is searching for Emery Rivera, a 7-month-old Hispanic female with black hair and brown eyes, last known to be wearing a Minnie Mouse sweater. She was last seen in Vineland, New Jersey on January 4th at 11 p.m. She was reported abducted by Ramon Rivera, a 22-year-old Hispanic male, 5'7", 140 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. Rivera is operating a bronze-colored Acura MDX with New Jersey registration H79NSN. Repeating, the Pennsylvania State Police has issued an Amber child abduction alert for the New Jersey State Police. The New Jersey State Police is searching for Emery Rivera, a 7-month-old Hispanic female, last known to be wearing a Minnie Mouse sweater. She was last seen in Vineland, New Jersey on January 4th at 11 p.m. She was reported abducted by Ramon Rivera, a 22-year-old Hispanic male, 5'7", 140 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. Rivera is operating a bronze-colored Acura MDX with New Jersey registration H79NSN. Anyone with information about the abduction should immediately contact the police by calling 911. For more information, go to www.amber.pa.gov. This has been an Amber Child Abduction Alert for the New Jersey State Police.
All right, I think we're back on. An Amber Alert jumped in there, so hopefully you got the information. We never know when those are happening, by the way.
No.
And in fact, we were rattling on for a while. Then Marissa came in and waved her arm. She's like, "There's an Amber Alert. You got to hold on." So we paused for a moment. But it's of that story we had earlier this morning in news of that 7-month-old. So keep that in mind. If you see something, please let the police know. All right, so we're going to go back to the clips. We started to do that. We will finish doing that.
We're professional.
A veteran detective investigates a series of grisly murders with the help of a young cadet who will eventually go on to become the world-famous author Edgar Allan Poe and the Pale Blue Eyes. In this clip story, Harry Melling talks about learning from his co-stars. Here we go.
Well, I think when you work with brilliant actors such as Christian and the other wonderful actors in the film, I just find they elevate you. They elevate you to their space of greatness.
Shut the f*** up!
There you go. Pale Blue Eye. The Pale Blue Eye is out on Netflix now. Here's the next clip for you. Star Wars The Bad Batch is back in fine form in Season 2, shining when it dives deep into the greater effects the Empire had on the galaxy. And here, director Brad Rao talks about what's to come for this season.
We wanted to have a big impact because it's something we talk about a lot. The Empire is rising. They're not going anywhere. We know what's going to happen in the next several years in the galaxy. So it's in a way that's challenging, but it's also really fun to explore what that means.
Could you shut up?
First 2 episodes of The Bad Batch Season 2 are on Disney Plus now if you want to see that. And there you go. That's our entertainment report for this morning, Thursday, the 5th day of January. All right, we shall take a break and come back in a moment. Sun is trying to get through those clouds. We're going to have a fairly mild day today, so hang in there. We'll be back in just a moment.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
That clumsily walk on 2 legs and show their teeth are staggering around suburban Chicago, and authorities are warning locals to hide their pets. A spike in raccoons testing positive for distemper in Riverside, Illinois, is to blame for the bizarre sightings of contaminated animals that the disease causes to appear zombie-like. While zombie raccoons don't eat brains, distemper is highly contagious. If you're feeding wildlife and that raccoon ate out of your bowl or cat food for your stray cats and your puppy goes over, the saliva can be contagious.
They sent in a Negan raccoon to take care of everything.
Well. Looks like we got ourselves a problem in Chi-Town. Leaning back high. Looks like we got some trouble. Some trouble in Chi-Town. Going deep dish on this bitch.
It's got a little leather jacket he wears. Yeah.
Leaning back, way far. Ooh, hey. In the home of Oprah.
There we go. We had mentioned this earlier this morning, but it's definitely worth bringing up. The restaurant named Cadence, which is a BYOB on Girard Avenue, was named the best new restaurant by Food and Wine.
This is that's a super well respected journal in the world of the culinary happenings.
Yeah.
And so this is a big honor.
But in the order, you have Cadence is number 1 in Austin, Texas. Suerte. Frenchette in New York. Conby in Los Angeles. Kumiko in Chicago. These are all one-word names.
Manny's Chili Dogs.
Ah, that's on there. No, Pat's Chili Dogs.
Pat's Chili Dogs.
Yes.
Definitely the best theme.
Yeah.
Voted #1 in Food and Wine magazine. Yeah, baby.
That was from the band Cinderella when they were big in the area. They did
Hi, we're Warren. We were in town. We want some good chili dogs. We always read through Food and Wine magazine to see who won.
They did a commercial for Pat's Dogs.
That building is now a We Buy Gold.
Oh, is it really?
We buy gold. Gold for sale. No more chili dogs. I'm not going west. Next step, selling blood.
Yeah. So number 6 on this list is Ada, which is Ada Indian Canteen.
Ooh, I love canteens. When you go in that, you need water.
Fox and the Knife in Boston.
Boston sucks.
Hey, we beat Boston.
Yeah.
Love me some good Fox.
There you go.
Suck at Boston.
How's the Fox at this place?
Indigo in Houston. Nightshade in Los Angeles. And in New Orleans, a place called Piece of Meat.
There you go. You know, it's I think one of the most difficult parts of a restaurant would be a name that means something and pops to people.
Yeah.
You know, like Pat's Chili Dogs.
Right. That's... Yeah, I mean, you know, the name will only get you so far, but it is an added bonus. Answer the phone, by the way. Thank you very much. I don't know. If you had a restaurant, what would you name it?
I'd name it Answer the Phone.
Yeah, thank you.
Because
I'm sorry. I'm tired of waving my arms.
Yeah.
It's been happening
You
the
lose
last few
business.
days, and I'm just going to say answer the phone.
Answer
from
the
now on.
goddamn phone.
Yeah, answer. In fact, I'll say it that way.
Yeah.
That should be the name of the restaurant.
Answer the goddamn.
Answer the goddamn phone.
Answer the goddamn phone. Great food. Answer the goddamn phone. Open all night.
We knew we were going to have one gentleman for sure that was coming in. We have 2 here this morning. This is a momentous occasion.
Call it an honor.
I'd have to say because he is the best-looking 60-year-old man I've ever seen in my life. It's his birthday today.
Yes.
So we first want to welcome our friend Sean Wayans, who's been here on many occasions. And his brother, Keenan Ivory Wayans, is here celebrating his birthday today.
Hello, this is how you do it.
This is how you do it, man. Welcome to Philadelphia.
Yeah, well, now all the women in my family are going to kill you because you said my age. And they all lie about theirs.
You were working as a stand-up when you met Robert Townsend, correct?
Yeah, well, when I met Robert and Eddie and all of us, we all started out at the same time and in the club in New York at the Improv.
Yeah.
And that's sort of how we, started working together.
And you I believe, if the legend is correct, that you are one of the writers or co-writers on Raw, correct?
Yeah, on Raw. I worked on that with Eddie. I also produced it, and Robert directed it.
I remember that day.
Oh, there was a picture. Put the picture back up. Yeah.
I was back there with you guys, right? And I was slapboxing with Eddie, and I almost hit him, and then security grabbed me and was like, all right. All right, Junior, you about to mess up this money. Go sit your ass down.
Wow.
So that's cool. But all you guys have had such a massive effect on comedy and a type of comedy that I love, we all love, that is, you helped usher it in. Eddie Murphy did as well.
What happened in my career was I started out, sort of by myself.
Yeah.
And then as my family started getting into the business, I kind of realized that it was either going to be all of us or one. So I decided to make it about all of us. So I kind of stepped away from acting and started to
cultivate.
Yeah, exactly.
And Sean, we were talking earlier about how you were first on the show as the DJ.
Yeah.
And you'd already been doing comedy. You're doing stuff like that. But so from your point, Keenan, as you're seeing family member after family member, I want to do this. I want to do this. Is it a double-edged sword, or you know, what do you first say to them when they come to you and they say, you as sort of the, you know, default patriarch, I want to do this?
He nurtured us.
Yeah.
My thing with them was as long as you're willing to work. I always wanted them to know that it wasn't easy, and I would give them small opportunities in the beginning. I never gave anyone a starring role who wasn't ready, and you know, like I said, I made sure that they all put in their work, and you know, it is the fact that they're where they are in their careers now is testament to the fact that they, you know, they came in the right way.
Did anybody ever get mad at you saying, "Hey, I'm ready for my starring role"?
Always. When Damon first started,
I was the DJ, man.
And you were a damn good DJ.
I could play sketches too and scratch.
Hey, the guy right behind you is really talented.
Well, when Damon first started, I told him, I said, "Give yourself 10 years." And he looked at me like I was insane, you know, and he was like, "It's gonna take me 10 years." Well, 10 years later, he was ready.
We say the same. I tell like the interns and people who are coming up in the radio business, and now we've been, you know, it's the 20th anniversary of the show, and I say, trust me, just, if you were to jump 5 years into the future and look back, you wouldn't believe where you were or how things have changed. Yeah. So that's very sage advice. But when you're young and hungry, it's hard to perceive that.
It is, and you know, the thing is, youth. You know, youth is something that people think everything is supposed to happen when you're young.
Right.
And they're disappointed if it doesn't, because youth is when, you know, you make the money, you chase the girls, you do. And that's the experience that everybody wants, as opposed to being great at what you do. Yeah. And being great at what you do takes a lot more time than that. And sometimes, you know, youth passes you by. And I tell people all the time, if your goal is to be a CEO of a company, it doesn't matter if it happens at 20 or 60. You still accomplish your goal.
Yeah. All right. So you have to be a really good talent scout, right? So within Living Color, were you the sole decision maker as far as who was on the cast and who wasn't?
Yeah.
All right, so it was because you did an amazing job with that, and you look at like all of the people that came out of there.
Well, they were all people that I knew.
That you knew.
Right? So we were all in the clubs together. Okay. So when I got an opportunity, it was like, who's the funniest guys I know? Like, it wasn't really like a hard thing to do, because I knew they were funny.
You were working with people like Jim Carrey and all those guys were paying their dues.
And he knew what to do with them.
Right. Yeah. But that's a key. That is a gift. There's you know, Lorne Michaels has that that ability, and also who's going to synergize well with each other.
But your show aired at 8 o'clock on Sunday, and you know, so you had a younger audience in myself.
Right.
And I mean, I loved it. You know what I mean? Like Ace Ventura came out, I was like all over that. And like,
it got moved to 8. Started at 9.
Did it start at 9?
Yeah.
What Parker Lewis Can't Lose? Was that your lead?
You know, the Ferris Bueller ripoff?
I love that show too.
Fox wanted to make it an anchor show.
Okay.
So they moved us to 8.
Okay. Did they initially, or because would it first really, because it kind of hit the ground running, if my memory was, and did they go, whoa, we need to bump this up?
Yeah, well, initially they were very afraid of the show. Period. Like they had no idea what was going to happen. But once the show was successful, then it was like, you know, every network strategy is going to be, how many other shows can we launch?
Right.
So, you know, they ended up moving us.
In this day and age of reboots, we're seeing TV shows rebooted. What's the likelihood? We don't have a good sketch show. You know, SNL's the only thing going right now, as far as I know.
I think there's absolutely a new generation.
Yeah.
So it would just. I don't think that the guys from the past would
step forward. Yeah.
Yeah, want to do that again. But there's absolutely, you know, a new generation out there, and it would be fun.
Yeah.
You know, we're in a time now where I think a show like In Living Color is needed, but at the same time, it's, you know, the sensitivity.
Can you do it?
Yeah,
no, that's a good question. We were wondering about that, about the, you know, Preston and I were having a talk earlier about you know, like the comedy club or the theater. when you guys are there, that's your realm, and all bets are off. You should be allowed. There's there's safe spaces for satire and comedy and thought provoking, whatever you want to do. That's your palette, and there's been hits on it lately.
It's the phone.
Yeah.
You see, because the people who are in the club, they paid to be there and they want to see it.
Yeah.
But people who are filming, now it's going to people who didn't want to see it.
You're right.
Then when they do see it, now they're pissed. It's never the people who are in
That's
the
why I
club.
didn't want to go. See that?
Well, speaking of that, even some rock bands have adopted no phone.
I don't think phones should
get
be
outta
allowed.
here.
I think you're there for the experience and enjoy the experience. And
well, Kevin Hart played the Link, the stadium here, and there was a no phone for that whole show.
WMMR.
All right, thank you very much, Kathy. By the way, we were just talking about guessing as to whether or not, daylight savings time would happen this year or whatever, all that stuff. It's predictions on my mind because I saw a couple of stories recently.
Oh, they all come out now.
With the new year.
Oh, yeah.
They're always, what are predictions for the new year? Or they look back. I saw an article on Nostradamus and predictions that he had made and maybe things that are going to happen in this particular year. And I remember when I was a kid and that movie, The Man Who Saw Tomorrow, came out.
Yeah.
Like it scared the hell out of me. And now I look back at this Nostradamus stuff and I'm like, dude, okay, whatever. If you throw enough crap against the wall,
something's
going to stick.
Yeah.
There. And that's kind of what my outlook is on, or my take on Nostradamus was.
Exactly. So during our time off, a couple of articles always pop up about why this current year that you're in is going to be the end of the world year.
Right. Yep.
And I tweeted out, it's become an annual tradition to read the end of the year, end of the world, article, because they come out every year.
Right. Yep. Every single year. And so. But I did see this interesting article about predictions, and it was from, so they're taking a look at some predictions that were made in 1923, 100 years ago.
From Rostradamus.
Not Rostradamus, no. Scientists and sociologists were offering predictions for what life might look like in 100 years, meaning now.
I love stuff like this.
I do too.
I love in science fiction movies. Do you know that in 1978, we won't need cars?
Yeah. So, and if you go back, you can find artists' predictions and photos of what life might be like in the future.
Right. It's like Tomorrow World.
And it's wild. It's like, steam-powered personal flying machines, steam-powered Sibians.
Wait,
by the way,
steam-powered monkeys?
we had the hardest time yesterday trying to explain to Bill Weston what a Sibian is because of the latest Daily Rush video. It's a joke. We were talking about industrialists, and Steve said this guy had invented the first steam-powered Sibian. Sibian, for those who don't know, is it's a sex toy. Essentially, it's like a vibrating saddle with a dildo on it.
Yeah.
And but Bill kept hearing simian.
Oh my God.
Which means, apes and so on.
Yeah.
And Bill just couldn't wrap his mind around it. So finally, we're in a meeting here at work. And I do a quick Google search and I find a picture. I go, Bill, here. This is what a Sibian is. And
he still didn't get it.
He still didn't get it.
It took like, I don't know if he has it now.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyhow.
Why would monkeys need that?
So, he just couldn't, he couldn't drop the monkey thing.
Yeah.
All right. So they offered their predictions of what life would be like in 2023.
2023. This is what we can expect this year.
So there was a gentleman by the name of Paul Ferry, actually is his name, a researcher and instructor at the University of Calgary. He compiled newspaper clippings of various experts' 2023 forecasts in a now viral Twitter thread. They include projections about population growth and life expectancy, trends in personal hygiene, advances in industries from travel to healthcare, and even some meta musings on the future of journalism itself. So I'll give you a couple of examples, and if you guys want to guess what some of them might be, you certainly can.
And I'm sorry, from what time period were these accrued?
100 years
100 years ago. Okay.
1923, the 20s.
What will the world of 2023 be like?
Yeah. So that's what they were guessing. So in the 1920s, one newspaper, which wasn't identified, but said, in reading a forecast of 2023, when many varieties of aircraft are flying through the heavens, we do not begin the day by reading the world's news, but by listening to it, for the newspaper has gone out of business more than half a century before.
We'll get very unreliable news from local radio stations. They'll do one news break very early on, so no one will have to check about the validity.
Is that why we do one news break early in the morning?
Yep. People are too tired to care to look up.
So
the information.
some are seeing that as a prediction of, now newspapers haven't gone away completely, but things have changed to a digital format, at least in a lot more than the printed paper.
Right. So there's still, obviously there's still papers that are out there, and that's part of the deal. But there is, it's interesting that was their perception. I wonder if there was ever a point in time where they ever considered doing news over Morse code.
Yes, just sending out the news regularly in Morse code all the time.
Right.
Maybe they did. Don't you wish you knew that Morse code?
I
could
did.
actually sit and listen to it, and you used to know it?
I did for a while.
Wow.
So my neighbor was heavily into ham radio and all that stuff, so I got a little thing, and this is a kid. I learned it. It would take about an hour for me to decipher a sentence, but I was up to it. I know. I remember none of it now.
Yeah. You know SOS, right?
Yeah,
Everybody knows that. Yep.
Ham.
All right, predictions about men curling their hair. This is from the 1920s, by the way.
Every man will have curled hair.
Yeah. These predictions appear to stem from a general worry about anything that challenges gender norms, while talk of a 4-hour workday is seemingly part of a larger conversation about the promise of automation.
Broken into 2 4-hour parts.
Several seers described a world full of healthier and
curly-haired men
and more beautiful people. One writer predicted of the eradication of cancer, as well as tuberculosis, infantile paralysis, also known as polio, locomotor ataxia, and leprosy.
Everybody's doing a brand new dance. The locomotor.
In the original The Time Machine, the H.G. Wells story, and in the movie, they depict the Eloi, who are these creatures that have become basically food for the Morlocks, but they're humans. And they are that sort of, curly hair, and they're basically living as controlled cattle.
Right.
Are they beautiful?
They're beautiful.
Another went with the headline, fewer doctors and present diseases unknown, all people beautiful.
All people beautiful.
And in fact, they wrote beauty contest.
Everyone is so attractive, I can't stop from pleasuring myself.
Beauty contest will be unnecessary.
You don't need them. We're all beautiful.
As there will be so many beautiful people that it will be almost impossible to select winners.
In fact, there will be reverse beauty contests where we determine who is the pig.
And in fact, they continued saying the same will apply to baby contests.
Baby beauty contests.
There were baby contests back in the day?
Yeah, they used to be big. That was a big thing, baby contests. Yes,
Really?
absolutely. Like on the boardwalk and stuff like that.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a baby contest. Oh, hang on a second. I got to remember this because the Bazaar of All Nations in Delco, Kathy, they held some sort of it was like a baby bikini contest or something like that.
Baby bikini contest.
Oh my god! I wish I got to look up the information.
It's not what you think. It's cute little babies in a bathing suit.
Yeah, I know, but what era? When was this happening?
This was, I think, maybe 60s, 70s, somewhere around there. Yeah.
The baby bikini contest. All right, so they said the baby contest will come to a close, and they might be right about that. I don't. Really,
there's not a lot of baby contests.
I don't see baby contests these days or baby beauty contests.
Casey, was there a documentary, Bazaar of All Nations, that you were in?
Yep.
What the hell?
Oh, wow. We're looking at a video of this right now. This is from 12 years ago.
Yeah.
I was trying to find something I've never tried to find before, a baby bikini contest, and I Googled that, and then your name popped up in Bazaar of All Nations teaser trailer. It's available on YouTube. It's
Did you tell us about this at the time?
Yeah.
Did you? I don't remember it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, there's a lot of information that... Some factual, some not factual, that comes through these studios. I don't expect everybody to remember everything. Yeah, but the Bazaar of All Nations was kind of like the first
mall
Yeah.
in America.
And you went there as a kid or as a like teenager, or when did you stop going?
It went away when we were in high school.
Okay.
The last time I remember going there,
You were judging a baby contest.
no, I was not. No, but I was in high school. I remember going there. I was my sophomore, junior year, and then they knocked it all down.
And
and now it's like a Home Depot and an Acme. And
It's wild how many people
Yeah.
will, when you bring, this is mentioned, and we mentioned it on the show a number of times, that it's like, oh, yeah, it was a big thing.
Yeah.
Going back to the predictions for 2023, an anthropologist reportedly talked about masculine and feminine trends and declared curls for men by 2023.
Curls for men?
And a similar prediction appeared in the Savannah News, which also forecasted that women will probably be shaving their heads, which is not crazy uncommon.
No.
So they were right about that.
Women will look like Billy Ray Cyrus.
How did they know about Billy Ray Cyrus back then?
They're seers.
They were seers. You're right. Also, listen to this one, though. It added, also, the maidens may pronounce it the height of style in personal primping to blacken their teeth.
Oh, jeez. I think we didn't go there.
Billy Bob teeth will be a fashion accessory.
They were really reaching out for that one.
Blackening your teeth.
Have you seen the Billy Bob teeth they made for dogs?
No.
Didn't I?
Oh, I want to see that.
Yeah.
Little buck teeth. Yeah, it's pretty damn funny. It's hilarious.
That's brilliant.
Actually. Some newspapers predicted. Did you find them?
Sorry. Yeah. It's so good.
That is just genius.
That is great. Oh, that's perfect.
Some newspapers predicted that the average person would live longer in 2023, though the exact amount varies.
Each person will live 1 million years.
Wow.
Based on whom you ask. One said the average lifespan could reach 100 years, though certain individuals could make it to 150 or even 200.
Do you want to see a 200-year-old dude with curly hair walking around?
Another cited a scientist who put the average at 300 years. So, no, I don't think so.
Another thing that I saw, Stephen, I don't know if
We'd
you
have to
saw it.
resign.
I don't know if this was real or not, and I just saw the video, but there was this Buddhist monk who was like
I saw it.
150 years old. He looked like a skeleton. I was like, is this real?
And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, okay, is this fake? Is this real?
Meaning the
this
video
guy is
of the person?
Preston, he is so, if this is real,
emaciated?
So wizened, so emaciated. This, here.
Okay, we're looking at this video, and sure, the guy just looks like a skeleton covered in a little bit of skin. His mouth does not look.
Yeah.
I just saw his mouth moving, and that didn't look legitimate.
It kind of looks like E.T. when he falls into the creek. And he's falling apart there.
Yeah,
I hope it look better than that. Jesus Christ, this guy's a mess. God, he looks like my left nut.
I mean, come on, man.
Not that bad, man. I know you guys don't dig our species, but Jesus Christ.
Steve, the video I saw is not the same one we're watching
He's
here
laying
in the
in
studio.
bed.
He's laying in bed.
Right.
And then,
he'd just come back from playing pickleball.
yeah.
No,
and it's like great grandson.
Yes, and they're all standing there. And
Yeah.
now, so that looked a little bit more viable, like this right here. But I mean, completely sunken eyes, just bones, covered with what looks like crepe paper skin. You buying it, Preston?
Maybe. I don't think he's maybe 150 years old, but that's somebody who is.
Hey, everybody on the two-bop-bop, two-bop-a-dop-a-dop.
It's a fan?
It's Pierre at 150.
And what is this supposed to be? A monk of some
This is
sort?
a monk.
Okay.
I think it's Mickey.
Mickey the monk?
Yeah, the monkey.
Not a monkey.
No.
A monk.
Not a Sibian.
Hey. The Sibian would split him in half. Sit on it, Uncle Monk.
Man, okay, I know we're talking about this, but you bring up these this monk, and this is like a Tibetan monk, or
Yes,
or
who have and
or
supposedly
Shaolin or
have
something.
incredible command over their physicality.
Did I ever share with you? I may have done it in the historian or some kind of, but there was a sect of monks, and it was considered a high honor to try to do this to essentially self-mummify yourself.
You did. We talked about this.
Yeah.
There was visual proof that people had done it and or were doing it.
Yeah.
And
doing this while they are alive, I mean, it leads to your death.
Right.
But as you
Live
die,
mummification.
you are therefore mummified somehow or another, or it ensures.
Mummified?
Oh,
Electrified, calcified, putrefied.
Yeah, here we go. It's called Soko Shinbutsu, is a kind of Buddhist mummy. In Japan, the term refers to the practice of Buddhist monks observing what is that? Asceticism to the point of death and entering mummification while alive.
I mean, and so they have. I saw one of those Travel Channel shows, and they brought this up, and it's legit. The one thing is, Casey, the footage we were seeing of this monk dude who is, I mean,
they're saying 150 years old.
That is no.
All right, there's a few videos. Nick has now pulled this up on YouTube, and there's one that claims a guy's 200 years old, still alive. No. Okay. Some of these, there might be one or two that seems legit, but others don't seem to be. But yeah, this guy, the one that you guys are pointing out that we're watching video is supposedly 109 years old, which is not out of the realm.
That's not absurd. There have been people who've gone. They had that woman from at the time Soviet Georgia who was she 115?
I'm not sure. Yeah,
she was a cheerleader.
All right, so back in. Back
Hometown 1885, we are still alive.
Oh, my God.
The Prep Valley made us jump. The Civil War drums made us thump.
Paved the way.
Sure did.
Pioneer that one.
So in 1923, these are predictions, and they were saying the reason we got on this monk thing, if you're just tuning in, is they had predicted that people by now could live to be 150, 200 years old, and so on.
Well, we can only contextualize it in how we reckon life, and what we hope to achieve in our lives. Is that an enticing thing, 150, 200 years of life? Depending on if you look like this finger puppet.
If you have her physical qualities still.
That's the issue, right?
How many years are people wiping my ass?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they started last year.
Yeah.
Well, there were at least a year or two that you did it that you didn't.
Yeah, but I was unaware.
Yeah,
and now
I'd like to see that on Jeopardy. Now, I understand your profession is wiping the ass of a 150-year-old. Yes, and it's a lot more fun than you would think.
By the way, for context, the expected lifespan of someone born in the U.S. actually decreased last year.
It did.
To 76.4 years, which is the shortest it's been in nearly 2 decades. So, in another optimistic outlook, mathematician and electrical engineer Charles Steinmetz predicted that people would spend even less time working.
He was married to Norma Stitz.
She's over 100 years old.
Each breast is 100 years old.
Steinmetz believed that the time is coming when there will be no long drudgery and that people will toil not more than 4 hours a day owing to the work of electricity. Every city will be a spotless town as well. So this was at the time when electricity was becoming more common and that it would be the way of the future and automation would be taking over. And it has in some extent, but we still work 8 hours a day.
Yes. Yeah. And yes. Some things, it's funny because the tropes that are gone to the most often are in movies and TV shows. Preston, the plate comes out for dinner and it's 2 pills,
right?
And that's this one is a complete turkey dinner, and
yeah, but you know what? It's not too far off though, Steve. The supplements that people take and stuff.
But they take it with food. That's not.
But
just
not always.
Yeah.
Not always. I mean, people will take supplements instead of food.
Yeah, what you're saying is that they got a portion of it correct,
right?
Yeah. So several publications posited that technological and industrial advances will make more parts of North America more habitable, estimating the U.S. population at 300 million. and Canada at 100 million in 2023.
So what are we at, 350 now?
335.
Okay.
And Canada is at more than 38 million, so they were a little off on Canada.
But they have Tim Hortons.
Pretty close on us.
Canada only has 38 million people.
I was kind of surprised by that too. But
there are 300 million moose.
But there's huge swaths of
Yeah.
I think
Why don't you forget the moose?
Like 90% of
For a
Canadians live within 100 miles of the U.S. border, too.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, like everybody in Canada lives very close to the U.S.
Okay.
It's like when a cat sits in the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just likes to be in that one spot nearby. So there were also advances to dream about in science, technology, transportation, communications, and other fields. First, the products. This is from 1923, predictions of 100 years later, which is now. One writer proposed that people will be wearing kidney cozies, which they compared to teapot cozies for one's internal organs.
So you'd actually put clothing on your internal organs.
I don't know what that means. Another posited that utensils and dwellings will be made largely of pulps and cements. Next was the flying aviation pioneer Glenn Curtiss predicted that by 2023, gasoline as a motive power will have been replaced by radio, and that the skies will be filled with myriad craft sailing over well-defined routes, which the Minneapolis Journal deemed an attractive prophecy.
Well, it's like when you look at the Phantom Menace or some of those films, and they're showing these cities with these thousands upon thousands of aircraft flying in proper directions and all that stuff. To me, that seems, listen, everything is on the table. That's going to be kind of weird. I think the growing process, which we will never see that, but to get to that point is going to have a lot of mistakes and a lot of mishaps because it's a lot to handle.
But radio, I don't understand how that could possibly...
I don't either, but he thought maybe by 100 years later they would advance the technology that radio became a source of power somehow or another. I'm not
Human
really sure.
hair will power most vehicles.
Yeah.
Human hair. I've seen lately on some of the tech sites and some of the... you guys have seen, they're using basically drone technology to design, and they have them, personal flying craft.
Yeah.
Like, there's one, and this guy was taking, I think it was out in Baja, Preston, and this is the coolest looking thing. It basically looks like a, if you were to remove the cockpit of a car, like your car, and kind of just put a little cage around it with four, blades, like a drone, and the lift on it lifts up. The guy clearly he's using basically like video game controllers and flying around. It's amazing.
Yeah, there were helicopter type vehicles that they made years ago that were like that. In fact, I saw one at the believe it or not, we have the helicopter museum in this area. And it's almost like a fan underneath you.
It's astonishing.
And you ride up on top of it, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, that's going to advance.
While I have no desire to be a pilot in a plane, I might take something like that up at about 50 feet, and fly that around.
I don't know, man, because 50 feet, when things fail, you can die.
Oh, you can die. You can definitely die from 50 feet up. You can die from 20 feet up.
Yeah.
By the way, Bill Weston's been taking flying lessons.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild?
It is, because he doesn't know the difference between a simian and a civian.
True. I want to do the Pat Bat. Was it Running with the Shadows of the Night?
Yeah.
Remember that? There was her flying an aircraft. Do that with Bill Weston.
Yeah.
I'm running with the shadows of the night.
I'm not so convinced that a lot of the technology that we use today isn't actually magic.
Magic?
Yeah.
Like Asgardian?
I'm just, and I don't understand how this, it just works, right? I grab my phone out of my pocket and I do whatever it does.
And you're talking to someone a great distance away.
Right? But like, if you ask me how it worked, I couldn't tell you what 5G is. I couldn't tell you what cellular means. If you send me
basic idea.
If you send me back in time, there's no way I would even be able to help those people in 1923 advance, because I wouldn't be able to explain how anything actually works.
Well, how much of this is based on? We had the discussion about, does science fiction suggest it, and then scientists are and then make it, or engineers. It's a chicken or an egg kind of thing. Just the concept that we would have our own personal flying craft.
The person that creates something doesn't have to be the person that dreams it up.
Yeah, Steve Jobs was a perfect example.
Yeah,
he wasn't like a coder or anything like that. He said, well, what if you took this and put it on this, and you'd have that was his genius.
And then the engineers look at it and go, how do I make that work? And then they see it as a challenge, and they work and keep trying and trying, and eventually. Not all the time, but sometimes they
the Sibian.
They figure it out, and there you go. You got a steam-powered Sibian that eventually runs on radio.
Yes. Turn it up.
Radio. Who needs a radio?
So let's see. Where was I? Yeah. All right. Predictions from 1923 for 2023.
There'll be no more money, and everyone will use beer credits.
Elsewhere, all right, the opening of a new polar airline was cheered for making it possible to fly from Chicago to Hamburg via the North Pole in just 18 hours.
That's the only route.
As opposed to the roughly 13 hours most direct flights make nowadays.
Have you been to Hamburg yet? No.
Well, you have to go to the North Pole first. There was
That's
also
your connection.
Considerable excitement about the prospect of wireless and paperless communications. One writer envisioned a world in which Pittsburgh and London take orders on talking films from merchants in Peking and a 1,000 mile an hour freighters that deliver goods before sunset. And then here's one that got spot on. Watch-sized radio telephones will keep everyone in communication with the ends of the earth. So that one is a absolutely correct prediction.
Dick Tracy years ago was projecting. He had his telephone, and it was actually a TV as well.
Yep, exactly. And this was 100 years ago that somebody hit that. Archibald Lowe, the British scientist and author who invented an early version of TV and the first drone, by the way, among other things, wrote that the war of 2023 will naturally be a wireless war thanks to wireless telephony.
Telephony.
Oh, what is telephony?
All of that. Communication.
All right, wireless telephony, sight, heat, power, and writing. And he went a step further.
I'm not getting it.
Saying, Professor...
Does he mean nerve?
Professor Lowe concludes that it is quite possible that when civilization has advanced another century, mental telepathy will exist in embryo and will form a very useful method of communication.
I mean, if you want to talk about modern warfare, a lot of it is obviously not fought on the battlefield or with missiles and planes.
Remotely.
Well, but I didn't even mean that. I meant like cyber warfare.
Yes.
And Lowe and esteemed, this is Archibald Lowe, by the way.
Archibald Lowe.
And he and esteemed futurologist of his era made other and more accurate predictions about the 21st century as well. They include the rise of smartphones and dictation.
Stew made out of concrete.
Contemporary department stores, the internet, and arguably the British TV phenomenon Strictly Come Dancing. I don't know what the hell that is. This must have been a British article that I pulled this from or something like that. But,
interesting.
Yeah, so I thought that would be kind of wild to take a look at that. It's predictions from 100 years ago to now.
Yeah.
You guys have any predictions for this year? I don't do that. I never really, I've never been able to.
What's funny is I can clearly remember sitting in the car with my wife, and this was at the end of 2019, and her saying, I think 2020 is going to be a great year.
Oh, yeah?
And no.
I predict 4 championships for the city of Philadelphia.
All right, in this year?
In this year.
Okay.
You know, Eagles going to win the Super Bowl.
Eagles going to win twice because the Flyers aren't going to win.
Eagles, Sixers, Phillies, Union.
Oh, Union, all right.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, I retweeted, but Paige Sporanic,
golfer.
Yeah, she's given she says the Eagles are going to win.
Yeah, I believe her.
And I believe everything
with huge boobs says it. You gotta believe it, right?
Yep.
You should write those down and date it.
Okay.
And put it in an envelope and see if it comes true.
I just said it, though.
I know, but I'm just something we can open up.
All right, fine.
All right, but anyway. I have 0 predictions for the year.
I'm constantly surprised. What I always say to people is that if you were to, jump just 5 years into the future and look at what has changed, it would blow your mind. So that's the way it goes.
Yep.
I'm not good with prognostication.
No, neither am I. All right, we should take a break because I do see in our future the Bizarre File. I'm sure that is on the way. Yes, so thank you for joining in.
Humorous stories meant to delight.
Predictions of the future. We'll come back in just a moment. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
It's just crazy.
I heard somebody, and I don't remember who the performer was, saying recently though that they, it's really easy to see from the stage when somebody does get on their phone. Have you guys noticed that? Like if you're up on stage, you can tell immediately.
If the light is on,
You can tell, but you just don't want to stop. You got to understand. You got people in the palm of your hand.
Yeah.
You got momentum going,
right?
And you're thinking about your next thing, and you're trying to be physical, and you're trying to be in the moment, and then someone has their phone up. Do you stop your whole show to deal with this guy with his phone up, and then kill the people's?
No,
show?
you're right. So you're going to ruin it for other people. Yeah,
so,
no,
you know,
it makes total sense.
Sometimes you do, and you make him part of the show, and you destroy him for being the idiot.
Yeah, which is
pulling
also
his phone
good.
out. But
You channel your Richard Pryor.
yeah, if I gotta stop, I'm gonna destroy you.
Keenan, I have to tell you that I'm Gonna Get You Sucker is one of my absolute favorite movies.
Thank you.
Hilarious. I think people need to revisit it, but I think it's also sort of it's the likely first step to getting to Don't Be a Menace, which you know, that same sort of comedy, which has became the style of comedy. When you were putting that together, how difficult was that to pull everybody? You had a lot of cameos and stuff. Give us the idea of what that production was like.
I was very lucky. And Jim Brown really, he and Bernie Casey, once they came on,
got it done.
That got it done. Then everybody else was like, well, if they'll do it. And
they were essential. Yeah, they were what Leslie Nielsen was.
Yes, they were the icons of the era. And so once I was able to bring them on board, it went really smooth, and it really was. It was an homage to them. So
and the blaxploitation movies of the 70s.
Those are the movies I grew up watching, and
so did I. They were
enjoyed
awesome.
them.
Yeah.
So, when I was writing it affectionately. So that's why I think that they responded to it. And then these guys did the same thing for their generation with Don't Be a Menace.
Yeah. So I was on the set of I'ma Get You Sucker, 17-year-old boy watching his big brother do his thing and just taking it all in and going, man, one day I want to do a movie just like this.
Yeah, and you did.
A couple of years later.
Yeah.
Don't Be a Menace was born.
It's Sean and Keenan Ivory Wayans here, and we want to do something special because it's a special day, and we have something to bring out for Keenan. It is his birthday today, so we got a cake for you, Keenan. Yes.
He don't eat cake, though.
Don't eat cake, huh?
No, actually I don't. But I appreciate the 7 candles. It's my 7th birthday.
There you go. So you can blow out the candles and everything.
Now, Preston and Steve's Music News on 93.3 WMMR.
Choo choo, choo choo, kaboogie, boop boop, badoop boop, badoobie, boo boo boo, boo boo boo, boobie.
Wow. Didn't even know we had that. All right, so the band Korn has posted a cryptic message on its Instagram account suggesting some sort of announcement is imminent.
I love when you get mad at yourself.
It is inevitable. The post shows a black and white image of what appears to be a tangle of cables with fans asking to visit the band's website.
I like it.
What was the
There's a fart at the
I
end.
don't know where the fart came from, but I love it.
Play that at regular speed,
right.
please.
That's the greatest sound I've ever heard. One more time.
Marissa, trace that back to April 20th, 2017. Kathy thinks this is hilarious.
Not even, like it boggles my mind how you still find it this funny that the three of you can't contain yourselves.
It's great. It's everything you want to say. Sometimes the words don't come to you.
I
play it again.
Which speed?
Slow. Let's do it slow.
Okay.
I can see you give it like a little chuckle and then move on.
No.
But at this point, we've been here like 3 minutes now.
You're not seeing the greater picture. So as it's gearing up in classic corn fashion to be this aggressive sort of war chant, it's completely undermined by the childlike poot. It's two completely conflicting attitudes.
Hey, by the way, nobody else is laughing.
Yeah.
So it's not just Kathy is not laughing. Nick's not laughing, and none of our interns are laughing.
Marissa has a smile on her face. Hang on a
Do you ever see
second.
Amadeus?
I usually don't find farts funny at all, Kathy. That one caught me off guard.
Okay. Because it's more of a it's more of a raspberry than it is actual gas. Yeah. So.
And also the mystery of it. It's like an escape room. How did it happen?
We don't know. We may never know.
We may never know.
Okay. Music news.
Yeah.
Turn the
one more.
Stop the press. I go ahead. What was that?
That was a mistake.
It just can't. There can't be more of these gems.
Can you do that more than twice?
It's like finding a separate cavern in a diamond mine.
Okay. See, sometimes when you hit this button, it doesn't work. So when I hit it twice, it went burp burp.
Yeah.
Look, Chuck's laughing so hard he's crying in the other room. I love it, Chuck.
Anybody that doesn't find that hilarious is dead inside.
Yeah, dead inside.
Or just a little more mature.
Oh, God.
I wish the button was
What is
better.
great is that you have a massive company, a media company, Beasley, who's currently paying us to do this.
Dude, they took us down to D.C. last
They
week
did
for
some big award in front of senators.
Yeah.
That's how stupid we are.
Or
they're bad.
Genius.
Or we
make a living.
Fast one, yeah.
We make a living out of this.
There you go. Follow your dream.
2 is funnier than 3 or 4, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait.
It sounds like a wrong answer type of thing. Is it Sputnik? Ah, man.
1 for yes, 2 for no.
Or double A.
Triple O.
MCO.
Let's stick with rumors. Viewers, will they want to keep up with the Kardashians if Kourtney leaves? And we might find out for months now.
Oh, please.
Tension between Kourtney and her sisters have been rising. Last summer on Keeping Up, viewers saw Kim and Kourtney reach an almost breaking point over their differing priorities in terms of family and work. And in a recent interview with Paper, Kourtney confessed that she'd love to leave the show in the dust. She said, I will always say I want to move away someday and just be away from it all. Sail away.
Sail away.
No one will ever see me again. I keep throwing up different places. I'm going to throw up.
I keep throwing up in different places.
I keep throwing
I'm
up.
gonna puke.
I keep throwing up different places, but then I'll go there and visit. And she's going to sail away.
She's going to sail away, just like sticks.
But then I'll go there to visit, and I'll be like, nope, this isn't it. But I'm glad I came.
She's just afraid of Chloe coming after her.
Yeah. She said, we've just been to Finland. And I was like, check. It's great for me to visit, but I'm not going to move there. Maybe Norway, Switzerland. I've got lots of ideas.
She does have a lot of ideas.
That's according to Kourtney.
They're all annoying.
On Sunday, producer Ryan Seacrest was put on the spot by an ET reporter who brought up the subject.
Do you think that Kourtney is gonna leave the show? You think Courtney's gonna leave Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
E.T. is a reporter, mind you, so yeah.
I'll always be right here.
Seacrest seemed taken aback.
Why? Because I'm from another planet? Are you a xenophobe?
But then said, well, if the cameras go away, as long as they can come back, Courtney.
On my home planet, I was a botanist.
He said, they can go away for a little bit, but bring them back so we can do another season or two. Honestly, I don't know how they do it. He said, I couldn't do it no matter what they were paying them.
I can make things levitate. Just thought I'd throw that in.
He said, I could not do it, so I give them a lot of credit for having those cameras in their lives all the time. And I love you, Courtney. Love her.
He loves her.
He loves her.
Well, that show has made millions for him.
Oh, my God, yes. Of course he loves
Honestly,
her.
I have to say, I thought that meteor would have crashed Earth long ago. And they still keep renewing it.
It's very resilient.
I wonder if it's like
don't get it.
Alcoholism or something. You're just addicted and
Maybe.
you just do it out of routine.
Maybe. You know what? American audiences always need, though, that super rich family to watch.
True. And there's
what
no.
they do.
Well, I guess there are a few of those. In fact, maybe even Dynasty itself is on. But
I think that kind of covered the bill for a while. Then now we get reality TV, which takes over for that.
So that's like the Real Housewives and all that stuff. Maybe you're right.
so,
I don't know. It's annoying.
I don't watch any of them.
None of it?
I'm a botanist.
Okay. No interest.
Yeah.
All right. So this is interesting. Haven't heard this name in a little while. All eyes were on Val Kilmer as he took center stage Sunday night at a benefit for his Twain Mania Foundation, created to impact the iconic writer Mark Twain's legacy to children. The 59-year-old posed on the carpet with a pair of binoculars around his neck.
How's he looking, by the way?
I have not seen the photos, Steve. I'm not really sure if we have any. If you guys
To be honest, I
find any, that'd be great.
There was a point there. Huh? Yeah, he looks okay. He had throat cancer, some sort of variation
I've got a
of throat
little
cancer. You got it?
information
All right.
on that coming up, but we're looking at a picture of him right now. He looks. Now he was heavy for a while.
He was very heavy.
He got pretty hefty. Looks like he's lost the weight, but man, has he done some work on his face.
He's Mickey Rourke-ified.
Yeah, he's aged clearly, but you can tell that there's been some work around the eyes and the cheeks. And that just, I couldn't tell you. If you showed me that picture and said, who is this? I couldn't tell you that's Val Kilmer.
It
No
looks
way.
like a drag queen pretending they're Val Kilmer.
Yeah, kind of like that.
He's not going to be featured in the new Top Gun?
Yes, he's going to be in it.
Is. So his son Jack was also in attendance for this event. But the appearance previews a comeback of sorts for the star, who is set to hit the big screen again in Top Gun Maverick. Last summer, Cruise said of Val Kilmer that he was doing really well. While it's unclear what prompted Kilmer's hiatus from Hollywood, it became apparent that he was struggling with health issues during the hiatus. In 2015, a spokesperson told People magazine he was rushed to the hospital for a possible tumor. In 2017, he admitted that he had throat cancer and had recovered after a 2-year fight. He told the Hollywood Reporter that the procedure on his trachea made his voice raspy and left him short of breath.
I really like Val Kilmer. He's been in some really great stuff. Top Secret and Real Genius. And I love him in MacGruber.
Yeah.
He's freaking hilarious.
And Steve, you're forgetting
Tombstone.
Tombstone, thank
One of the
you.
greatest performances.
Yeah, definitely.
I bought the man's shirt.
I think his best performance, and The Doors. He was phenomenal.
So what would you say? So great as Val Kilmer, Tombstone? That is such a great performance.
I got to go neck and neck with The Doors. They were both so good. But yeah, his lines in Tombstone are
so
just
great,
wonderful,
so great.
I love Real Genius, though. I love that movie.
Have you ever seen Real Tombstone?
I've never
It's
seen.
really good.
Is it?
Yeah, it's about Doc Holliday in college.
Only he uses a laser instead of
WMMR.
All right, let's get into the B file.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
All right, gonna get some stories for you, and we'll start with this one. There's a video of a motorist driving on Indianapolis's frozen downtown canal. It went viral on TikTok. Several residents were ice skating on Christmas night when Bianca Gleason drove onto the ice because her GPS told her to.
Oh, man.
Her 2015 Chevy Malibu eventually fell through the ice into the water.
That happens a lot.
Resident Jacob Aldridge ended up pulling Gleason out of the vehicle. He said she wasn't looking to get out, so I just jumped in. One witness suggested putting a barrier in the area so vehicles cannot drive through it. Gleason was arrested for allegedly driving while intoxicated, too.
That's a problem. But I've had GPS systems desperately want to put me into a field.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And I mean, she's driving down a frozen, solid river.
Yeah.
It looks like she's on the road.
Yeah.
And eventually she got to a point where it was too thin and she went through the ice. This is a pretty wild story. A follow-up here. A 46-year-old woman who is the former owner of a funeral home in Colorado was sentenced to 20 years in federal prison on Tuesday for dissecting 560 corpses and selling the body parts without permission.
Oh, man.
The accused,
you should always ask.
Megan Hess, cheated the relatives of the dead and stole body parts using forged donor forms. Hess pleaded guilty to fraud in July. The 20-year term was the maximum allowed under law.
Whatever body parts you're looking for, we can handle all requests.
She operated Sunset Mesa, a funeral home and donor service and body parts entity from...
If you like big butts and you can't deny, we can set you up.
From the same building in Montrose, Colorado. Hess's 69-year-old mother, Shirley Koch, also pleaded guilty to fraud and was sentenced to 15 years. Koch's primary role was to chop up the bodies. That was her part.
Thanks, Mom. That's ghoulish.
Yeah, the case came to light following 2016-2018 Reuters investigation series on the sale of body parts in the U.S. Reuters was informed about the mother-daughter duo's operation, and the FBI raided the business a few weeks after the story was published.
So my question is, who are the recipients and what are they using the parts for?
I'll tell you about that. The prosecution in the case described the case as one of the most significant body part cases in recent U.S. history. The judge ordered Hess and Koch to be sent to prison immediately. Meanwhile, Hess's lawyer justified her actions and said that they could be attributed to a traumatic brain injury when she was 18.
Gotta be.
Aaron Smith, one of the victims who testified in court, said the duo dismembered her mother and sold her shoulders, knees, and feet for profit.
Shoulders?
Yeah. Selling organs such as hearts, kidneys, and tendons for transplant is illegal in the U.S. and must be donated. However, Hess has dealt in the sale of heads, arms, and spines.
Oh, my.
Something which is not regulated by federal law, believe it or not. According to the prosecutors, the surgical training companies and other firms which bought the arms, legs, heads, and torsos from Hess did not know that they had been fraudulently obtained. So that's who's purchasing this.
That's amazing.
There is a market for it, but you have to give the okay. Either the deceased has to have that already planned, or the family members who have a say in it can say, what's done. But
imagine finding out you thought you were sending grandma off to the great beyond, and now you know she was chopped into bits.
They added that Hess charged families up to $1,000 for cremations. That never occurred.
Oh, man.
Yeah, more than 200 families fell victim to Hess's operation, received cremated ashes from bins mixed with the remains of different cadavers. So you got like a blend of people.
You like that? It's like trail mix.
Yeah. The Ohio woman who went off the viral charts in 2018-2019 with her mugshot, when her mugshot became internet fodder around the world, is in the process of having her face tattoos removed. And she said it's very painful. So what she got was like one of those sugar skulls done on her entire face.
It looked horrible. I have to say, the work they did removing is pretty amazing.
I haven't seen any of their removing yet.
You got it. Yeah, if you can find those pictures and put them up on the screen. I was amazed. I thought the after was actually the before.
Alyssa Zabrowski of Warren, Ohio, who was hit with drug and theft charges between 2018 and 2019, says she's now clean and trying to get busy with a normal life, but it's tough when your face has been tatted up. The 29-year-old recently fired up TikTok to give a life update that included news that she had gone through her 10th tattoo removal session and she was in a lot of pain. She said the hands are hurting pretty effing bad at this time. Tattoos... scribbles on her cheeks and chin have started to disappear, and the forehead spiderweb is starting to lighten up as well. What to know about the eyes, though? She said, I know that they can get around the orbital bone anything that has bone underneath it, they can remove it, but some of the black might have to stay. So how did she end up with her face covered in a tattoo and subject to tabloid fodder around the world? She says a mix of heroin and the need to please a then boyfriend and the gang he was in.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Led to the insane face tattoos.
God.
Yep. But the
You wouldn't do that, Kathy?
God.
2 tattoo sessions later, Alyssa had her ridiculous face tattoos. She eventually ended up arrested 3 times over 6 months. But she got into rehab after spending time in jail. The boyfriend who talked her into the Dawn of the Dead tattoos visited her twice during her stint. She said, I have to think about that every time I look in the mirror. I started healing mentally from all that stuff I went through with him, and now it's time to get these tattoos off.
That's really, I mean, it's good for her.
She said the initial pain from the laser, she said, I would relate to having a rubber band snapping against your skin. That's what the laser feels like. And then afterwards, it's sore for about 30 minutes. So it's going to take probably a couple of years to get completely removed. All right, and then finally, a 41-year-old man was charged with attempted murder and child abuse after investigators found he intentionally drove his Tesla over a cliff in California near Devil's Slide with his wife and 2 children inside.
This is crazy.
Dharmesh Patel deliberately veered over the San Mateo County cliff along State Route 1 Monday morning. Investigators have not yet determined what driving mode Patel's Tesla was in, but that does not appear to have been contributing factor in the crash. He, his wife, and their 4-year-old daughter and 9-year-old son were traveling on Route 1 shortly before 11 a.m. when the vehicle swerved off the roadway, plunging 300 feet down a cliff. The Tesla came to rest on the rocks near the edge of the Pacific Ocean. The crash triggered a daring rescue, which included at least 30 first responders to free the trapped family. They all miraculously survived the crash. I mean, the car is crumpled.
Down that cliff. That they survived is amazing.
The 2 children suffered minor to moderate injuries. Patel and his wife's injuries ranged from moderate to critical.
Do you remember the story of the I think it was sisters who got into a fight and
twins?
Yeah. And the one at the wheel drove them off the cliff on purpose.
Yep. Patel is still being treated for his injuries at a local hospital, and once released, he'll be taken to the San Mateo County Jail. Witnesses said that they saw the Tesla make a sharp U-turn before leaving the roadway. It's unbelievable that they survived in that. And that is what I have in the bizarre file for you now. We're going to take a break. We're coming back in just a moment or two. Hang out with us, please. We will not be gone long.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Was that him? That was his bite in
Top Gun, his
Yes.
best pilot?
Yeah.
Hit it again. That's his teeth coming together. Oh, my God.
That's right. Ice. Man, I am dangerous.
And there's the bite.
All right, man.
That line from Cruise, I hated. Ice. And then he pauses. Man, and brushes off his shoulders.
You're awfully big there.
Horrible movie.
I'm 5 feet, 3 inches tall, man. I'm a little tiny man.
But as much as I hate Top Gun, I can't wait to see the sequel.
Likewise.
Because really want to see it.
Because guess what?
What I said, and I thought they were going to do, is they're going to go more realistic.
Yeah.
You think so?
That's the word.
Okay.
And now with the availability of what they can do.
It's Steve. Wouldn't it be great if in the locker room saying they all of a sudden break into a dance number?
Right.
We're going for ultra realism here.
I want to see Val Kilmer, though. You know, I want to see how he looks and how he's able to pull off Iceman, because what we just saw there up on the screen doesn't jibe with the Iceman I know.
I don't think he can't be all that cocky anymore.
You're not just writing checks. Your body can't cut.
What was that?
You're dangerous.
Man, I can't understand your words. Man.
John Hamm's in it, too. He was at the Blues game last night and on Saturday, and he's done a few spots on NBC for the Stanley Cup Finals, and so it'll be cool to see him in it as well.
I looked in Nadnan.
I'm sorry.
I looked in Nadnan.
He wasn't in Nadnan.
No, Madman.
Oh, Madman.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't put your lips together. No, man.
I had a little surgery.
You got a little surgery?
You look weird.
Tonight, E.T. gets the exclusive with Val Kilmer.
I'm gonna rip the Band-Aid off. This can go hard on you now.
You look weird.
Bring it, you little bitch.
All right, what else I have for you? 3 months after Nicolas Cage and Erica Koike got hitched. in a quickie Vegas wedding.
A quickie.
Quickie was quickie.
You remember
Nicholas Cagey
tried to immediately get it annulled.
4 days.
Yeah.
Vegas. So after this, a judge in Clark County had granted them a divorce. Cage filed for an annulment 4 days after the wedding.
He was drunk. He freely admits.
That was his fourth wedding, by the way. Claiming that it was based on fraud because Quakey did not disclose her criminal and romantic history to him.
Uh-huh.
See, you didn't tell me about your criminal history.
You didn't tell me about your criminal history.
TMZ
If I had known, I wouldn't gone all quakey on you.
TMZ reports that the annulment didn't happen, and it is
I'm his friend now.
Oh,
See, little guy's my friend now. He's got great fingers.
Quakey. Okay, so reports that the annulment. TMZ reports the annulment didn't happen, and it's unclear if Quakey will receive the spousal support that she has requested. So, honestly, I don't know what's going on there.
I love Nicolas Cage Nicolas Cage has become what he's wanted to become the most. It's basically an Elvis type character. He goes around, in these, like right here, he's got some sort of animal print leisure suit on. This is ridiculous.
What would you do to make your butt look good in a photo?
Ooh, I'd have it wear a cowboy hat.
For celebrities and social media influencers, it's about contorting the body for the best rear view.
Yeah.
All right, so you know what to do, Kathy?
I'm not sure. I'm sure it's probably a little arch in the back.
Well, for me, it's bending over and pulling the cheeks as far apart as possible.
I think that's a different type of photo.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's
I
not
misunderstood.
What they're talking about.
I think so you can see everything, where you can see where the skin starts to turn color.
Oh, my God.
Right? Is that what you're talking about?
Listen, I didn't even realize I was doing it, but I was, I mooned my daughter.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Just
Here.
Yeah, but I brown-eyed.
Oh, no, your poor kid. You just traumatized her for life.
So is that how you take a proper ass picture?
I don't think any child should see their father's butthole.
Ever.
No.
Write that down.
Do what I did and just feel it.
It scarred her. She was like, she freaked out.
Oh, yeah.
I thought more like, I was thinking more in the veins of my son.
Yeah.
That I was doing that too. And I was like, I can't believe I just did that. I just did that.
I can't believe it either.
Wow. I know. Yeah.
The man in my little girl.
Yeah, right.
Poppy, hey, Daddy, I just saw your brown eye.
Is that your butthole, Poppy?
It was quite dramatic, Poppy.
Oh, my
His name is Eddie. He wants to know if we can go steady.
I've never seen your butthole. I had to tell him I did, Daddy. He's not my boyfriend anymore, Daddy. Thanks for scarring me, Daddy.
Oh, the car pop?
Oh, my God.
Yes.
Well, anyway, back to the
I
story.
saw your balloon knot, Daddy.
Hey, look over there.
Didn't want to see it, Daddy.
You probably shouldn't have told us that.
No, I'm
Here's
glad I
other
did.
stories.
So the most popular booty popping position involves tilting the pelvis and arching the back.
Yeah.
So the
And
obvious.
then swiveling the head to the side. Bootylicious models such as Hailey Bieber and Isabel Goulart have recently
My name is Isabel Goulart. You want to change our last name?
posed on the red carpet this way to highlight their pert posteriors in gowns with plunging backs.
So can you show Casey what he's? Do you know what he's describing? Is it? Are you?
Well, I'm going to give it more detailed. So here we go. Here's an influencer, Daisy Keach, who last month enlisted a plastic surgeon to certify that her backside was real to her 1.1 million Insta followers, said, "I'll stand up straight and spread my legs a little bit to make myself look a little bit wider than if my feet were closer together." She says, then I'll arch my back a little bit.
Right.
And I'll kind of puff out my chest. I breathe out and my stomach cinches in as I pose.
God, what a bunch of nonsense to go through.
One of our
she's 19,
calendar
by the way.
girls though does this perfect, and I can't remember which one it is. I'm trying to find her pictures, but like
Is it Shay? Our cover girl?
I mean, listen, they probably all take
Yeah.
great booty shots, but there's one specific calendar girl, and I can't remember who it is.
The 19-year-old influencer from Los Angeles says...
Influencer.
She says a lot goes into properly accentuating her most famous asset, which she dubbed the Keach Peach.
The Keach? What's her full name?
Her name is Daisy Keach.
Oh, I thought you said Stacy Keach. I'm like, that guy?
Daisy Keach, and she calls it the Keach Peach. One of her other go-to tricks involves bending the leg that's closest to the camera while standing, quote, super tall on the other foot. If you arch your back a little bit and lean the shoulder closest to the camera forward, she said it will make your waist look smaller and your butt look bigger.
So none of them suggest putting your stomach forward on a table and pulling your ass cheeks far apart?
I haven't gotten to the whole thing yet, so maybe. But while an overarched spine may look good on the gram, it's not the greatest for your posture, says experts. With a neutral pelvis, the hip points and pubic bone align. By contrast, the sway back position and other similar moves create an interior pelvic tilt, which is placing a lot of strain on the pelvis, says chiropractor Marcella Thomas.
Well, of course, we know that the way you're posing is not the way you should walk around in life.
Some people do actually suffer.
Like, what are you going to be like this? Like, like Frankenstein?
Some people do actually suffer from an interior pelvic tilt, an issue that Thomas says that she would treat in her office using strengthening and stretching positions and spinal adjustment.
She's really taking this seriously, huh,
Yeah,
Ms.
she
Doctor?
is.
I have
could
that.
treat that.
I have that pelvic tilt just when I stand regularly.
I don't know what you mean by that, but pelvic.
So like my, I guess I have like a natural bend in my back and my,
which accentuates your
like an arch, and my pelvis kind of tilts a bit just when I stand normal. No, kind of down.
Does that happen when you try to touch your elbows behind your back?
Yeah, and then I do that and I tilt my head and
like when you lick your own nipples.
Right, exactly. Yeah, all very similar.
Yeah.
It's natural that my tongue goes down to my nipple.
When I give my Kathy, same. When I give myself oral,
right,
my butt really sticks out.
Sitting to my left, ladies and gentlemen, Adrian Zemed.
Adrian Zemed? I thought he was dead. Oh, my God.
We're not kidding. We've been talking about you forever, right, Preston?
We have. We absolutely have. We are fans. Has anybody ever said to you, I thought you were dead before, though? That's a slight insult.
Well, actually, there was an episode of The Simpsons where I was in one of their musical numbers, and I popped out of a coffin saying, and I'm not dead.
Here you are in this play, and again, Middletown, and it's two couples, and they're sort of there's some comedy, there's some sadness, but it's the way they've grown over the years. And what drew you to this?
Exactly that. I'm used to, I've been through the Eastern Seaboard so many times with musicals. And I'm used to just being drenched in sweat by the end of the show and doing it. And then I read this play, and it was such a simple play. It's just about two couples who have dinner every Friday night for 33 years.
Right.
They're best friends, and they're normal people, and life happens to them. And it truly is a roller coaster of emotions. I mean, we suck you in by all of our little charming quirks that the couples have and everything, and then life happens. There are tragedies in life that you have to deal with, relationship problems with your spouse and everything. But what is the great fascinating thing about this play is that the words speak for themselves. I'm actually first generation Romanian, so my family came, to America for their kids to, be doctors and lawyers, and I come up to my dad and say I'm going to be an actor. And it's the funny thing about him is I won him over. I literally out of acting school, I got one of the last national tours of the original Grease. All
right, thank you very much, Kathy. So New Year's Eve, we always have a small gathering. Another family comes over to our house, and we spend the evening. We've been doing this for years, for a good 15 years, maybe more.
It's a tradition?
Yeah, where they come over, and their kids would come over, our kids would hang out, and that's when I started doing the Preston Code. And,
like the Da Vinci Code.
And scavenger hunts and things like that. And we do these big game-oriented things. And it started off for the first few years to entertain the kids and ourselves as well. And our kids have grown up, and now they don't come to this anymore. They go to their friends, or some live out of state, or they go to parties or whatever it is. So, but over the years, I've also come up with other games that we played, and they're either we'll either do some board games or I'll create a game show type of game and host it or something like that. So this year we decided to go a little lower key, and we did just kind of some fun board games. And you
guys get into it.
Yeah, you make a great meal. You have to booze and have a good time. And this year, my friend Will and we decided just to play several games and keep it really not very complicated.
Okay.
So he said, I want you guys to try this game out. Now, he got it from his son, Zach, who we found out later, I guess, had maybe stumbled across this on social media somewhere. And I wanted to try it out on you guys.
Sure.
We had a lot of fun doing this.
All right.
It's stupid. I'm going to tell you this right now. It's dumb, but it's kind of hard and it's kind of funny.
Okay, this is a game that already exists.
Yeah.
You guys didn't invent this game.
It's no.
Okay.
He at first he thought his son did it, but then his wife looked it up online and said, "Wait, this already exists."
I hate games, but if this is stupid, it might be right in my wheelhouse because I'm stupid.
You don't like board games and things like that, so it's nothing like that.
All right,
at all.
Now
So
we're talking.
It's a timed game, and it's a you have to have an ability.
All right.
And it's all using your mouth.
Okay.
Oh, wow, I'm in.
And your nose, too, actually.
Oh, my God.
So it's very, very simple. Now, the time we would use is 1 minute, and it kind of drags on for a long time.
All
so
right.
if you guys want to do this for 30 seconds, we can, or we can do it for 1 minute. It's simply called Snort, Whistle, Raspberry.
Okay.
And all you have to do is in 1 minute or 30 seconds, whatever we determine, you have to snort, whistle, and raspberry as many times in a row successfully as you can.
Okay.
And each time you mess up, it doesn't count. You have to get right in that order, and the whistle has to be. You can't be like
No,
the whistle.
It's got to be a whistle.
It has to be that.
You know how to whistle, don't you?
Yeah, you put your lips together and blow hard.
Who's going to be the best at this?
I'm not.
I think I am.
Yeah, I think you have the discipline.
Yeah.
This is really stupid.
I know, right?
He said it. He said it was.
I didn't think it would be this dumb.
No one signed me up for this.
Kathy's
I was not made aware.
So it sounds easy until you
Always
try and do
with the
it.
support.
Snort, whistle, raspberry. Now,
I'm gonna be
do you guys want to try 30 seconds or 1 minute?
God, yeah.
Are we all doing this at the
30
same
seconds.
time? Or
No.
one at a time?
It's one at a time. You can't because the other people have to kind of keep score and count how many times you do it successfully.
Okay.
There's no way we could do it all at the same time.
I want to go first.
I think we could probably pick like one or two people too. We're gonna do all of us.
This is
gonna be a
definitely
long
doing
time.
it. We don't all have to do it, but you're definitely doing it.
I think I'm out on this.
Shut up.
All right.
No fun.
I mean, I'd rather play.
Very stupid.
I think I'd rather play yes or no.
Incredibly.
All right. So
I think Nick should start and just have Nick keep doing it so that we don't have.
Well, I think I'm gonna be bad, so I want to get the worst round out of the way.
all right.
I think Kathy should go first because she hates it so much.
It is. It's terrible.
Hey, can you whistle, by the way?
Yeah.
All right, let's hear it. Okay. All right. Some people can't whistle.
Yeah.
You know what? No, Nick can't snap his fingers.
That's true, and I'm not a great whistler, but I can pass with the
Okay.
whistle.
All right. Do you want to try 30 seconds or 1 minute? What do you guys think?
30 minutes. 30 minutes.
10 seconds.
30
10
minutes.
seconds per person.
minutes.
Is plenty.
30 seconds.
All right,
I get
30
the
minutes. Casey, will you put a timer
on the clock?
Or I can just use my phone here if you want to. All right.
Snort, whistle, raspberry.
Snort,
whistle, raspberry.
whistle, raspberry. I'll keep track, okay?
All right, since you're
For
the
successful ones.
the guy who brought us this game.
And if you, all right, anyway, you ready to try this?
I'm ready.
On your mark, get set, and go.
Damn it. I hate this game.
Yeah.
All right.
I knew it. I knew I was going to
You
suck
did.
at it.
I don't think you did as bad as you thought you were going to
I
do.
got
I
flustered.
counted seven successful
All right.
snort, whistle.
By the way, he did
raspberries.
achieve. I don't know. There were some very soft whistles
I
that
know,
were
I know.
legitimate whistles, though.
Yeah.
I was afraid.
I didn't count them all.
Oh,
you
really?
Yeah.
So if there was an actual whistle, but it was too quiet, you didn't count it.
I just used my judgment.
Okay.
Do you think it was a new world record?
Probably.
No.
Okay, no.
Hold on. I have a question. Do you suck in when you
Both.
whistle?
I
noticed he was, instead of blowing out, he was sucking in.
I tried to alternate it because of the breathing that you do, because you have to time your breathing in this game. There's a snort breath, there's a whistle breath, and then there's a raspberry breath.
Huh,
It's almost like Lamaze.
Right. Similar.
Could you imagine if Lamaze was like that? No, so you got 7.
All right, good.
Okay,
I'm all right with
Kathy,
that.
your turn.
I'm not going to be able to do this. This is stupid. I don't want to do it.
Oh my God.
Leave me alone.
I can't. It's so annoying. I can't
can you
even
just
shop
try it? Can you
because
just
I'm
try it, please?
Doing no spending.
What?
I can't
haven't
even
been
shop.
spending in days. I'm all torn up.
I said I can't even shop during this because I'm not
No,
spending.
you can't. You have to participate. How about
Annoying.
that? All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
30 seconds on the clock. Kathy's turn. Here we go. Go.
Okay.
14 times.
Damn.
You kicked
Like,
his ass.
She's a new world champion.
You're like
She's the
way
best.
better.
Is it okay to say goat?
You know why? Because she didn't like it.
Yeah, she hated it. Yeah, she wasn't having fun and laughing
Yeah.
like I was.
That's
and-
right.
Yes.
That's a good point.
Okay.
So hatred leads to success.
Apparently, loathing something.
Right.
I have a question though. Okay, so you played this with your friends. Did you come up with this?
No, I told you the whole story. You were
wasn't
shopping. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sorry.
She
You were
can't
shopping.
shop. No.
How did you get the game?
Are you serious?
son.
Are you not
Will,
sitting
okay, so
directly across from me?
I am. I clearly wasn't paying attention. I didn't know if you had learned about it or if the
find it
kid
boring when you talk.
if the kid made it up.
I told that story. I said that Will presented this to us. He got the idea from his son, Zach, who we found out when Lori looked up later online that it had already existed. I told that story.
Okay.
really did.
Sorry, relax. I just was wondering if people actually sat around
He
and
gets
were
so
like,
upset when you call him on a stupid game.
"Yeah, good idea."
All right, I think Steve's going to be good at it because Steve, when he wants to bear down, can be serious.
Yeah, but I don't think I'm not good at timed events.
But you're a good whistler. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So it's
snort, whistle,
right,
raspberry.
All right. Okay.
All right, ready? Try it.
Yep.
30 seconds.
Wait. Let me do it. It's right.
Yep. Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna suck at this.
All right, here we go. Ready and begin.
Suck at
You had the first one.
No, that was a queef.
Oh,
Man,
you got
got a groove.
11 of them, dude.
Yeah,
you
you-
got in the zone, and that was
I thought
with
some
two
of my
big-
whistles were kind of lame.
That was 2 big pots. Well, I didn't count them.
Okay.
You actually, I think, made like 14 attempts, but you made 11 of those.
Okay. Once you get
That was
the hardest
solid.
part is just remembering getting into the
Getting
cage.
the order.
Yeah.
But then when you got in the zone, like you were kicking ass. You
Well, I focused on the word yell on this page.
You've got what?
I was just looking at the word yell
Yes.
here, and I was like, I've got to do it for the word yell.
I love that you had the wherewithal to realize that was the one was a queef. Casey, it's your turn.
Okay.
All right.
I don't think I'm going to do well because I think I'm going to have a laughing fit at a certain point.
That's kind of what this game is. This is why you want to try it with people who've never done
This is
anything
Casey
like
on
this.
sulfurfluorohexide? What is it?
Sulfur hexafluoride, yeah.
Keep in mind, these are professional broadcasters doing this.
Yeah.
And also, when we tried to do the
Walter Cronkite invented this game.
speech jammer, couldn't do the speech jammer either.
You couldn't?
No, because I was just laughing.
Okay.
Because it was so hard for me.
Well, see, Kathy's currently the champion, and she hated every second of it.
Every second.
So if you have a fear that you're going to suck at it, you might do very well.
Which, by the way, Try this on your own and see if you can do this. I know it's...
Especially if you're in line at a wake.
Yes, please do.
Yeah.
Or try this with some friends and see how difficult it is, all right?
And you were doing this for a minute.
Yeah, for a minute.
I think 30 seconds is the appropriate, right?
I agree. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
Set, go.
Wait, I totally. Wait, I told you.
No.
Wait, I can't do it.
Time's up. That's it.
How do you do?
Four of them. I beat Casey.
I thought you were purposely putting weight in there.
Oh my God.
Wait.
Wait.
Told you.
I'm so glad I beat you, Casey.
That became your whistle. Because you were giggling too much, you couldn't purse your lips. All right.
Preston.
I'll try it.
I call him
I've
fair.
done
He's
this
already
before.
done this
You have the
before.
clock? Yes, I know.
He's so good at
Do you
it.
want Marissa? Do you want Marissa to do it?
Of course I do. But
Can Marissa whistle? I bet Marissa can't whistle.
Marissa.
Can you Marissa?
Can you Marissa?
Okay. Wow.
She can wolf whistle.
She can whistle very well.
Hey, thanks.
All right.
What
So
is it again? I mean, I've been paying attention this whole time, but
Snort,
it's
whistle, raspberry.
snort, whistle, raspberry.
Okay.
I was listening.
All right. You ready to try it?
Wait, I can't snort though.
You can't do that? That's
Yeah,
fine.
You got to open your mouth.
Okay.
She was going like this. It's not working.
Wait, let me lift my leg up.
You're just sniffing. Marissa smells very hard.
I mean, of all the things,
Sniff, whistles, raspberry.
Sniff.
I don't snort very often, guys. Not on purpose.
All right. You ready?
Wait, let me just try it once on my
Go ahead.
own. Wait, so it's snort.
Snort.
He can't snort.
Jesus.
Snort.
She literally can't snort.
Like you're snoring. You can't pretend like somebody's snoring. Do a big long snore.
I can't. Wait.
There you
We'll
go.
take that.
Okay.
Open your mouth a little more.
I was open.
No.
My mouth is very much.
But at first you were like this.
It's your nose, really, where the snort is coming from. Your nostrils should vibrate a little bit.
Snort, whistle, raspberry.
Yes.
There
Okay.
you go.
Okay.
Okay, I got
Ready?
it. Mhm.
Set and go.
I'm concentrating so much I forget.
She did pretty good, though.
She got the
did it.
move.
9 times. 9 times. She
Nine?
actually. Yes, 9. That's
You were
right.
close
9 times.
to the goat.
9 times.
Nobody can beat Kathy. Kathy won, right?
Preston still gotta go.
I'll do it,
Okay.
but I've already played the game, so let me show you his. All right, somebody's got to count. So it's after each raspberry if I completely make the
All
cycle.
right, I got you.
Okay.
Nick, do you think I have a beat on his
And
parameters of judging?
I'll be fair, but
Okay,
balanced.
yeah. All right.
I'm ready.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
Wow.
How many you got?
Ladies and gentlemen, a new world record 17.
Just barely beat
Stop and think
Kathy.
about that.
Yeah.
Kathy, who hates this terribly,
Right.
was within 3 of a guy who's already done it a number of times. Now, I think you might benefit from being a drummer, Preston.
Yeah, but that's round 1. We got to do best of 7, guys.
I don't know.
I think
prefer you give free plugs.
I was telling these guys because I'd never played it before, and I won the other night. I think it's because I used to practice tongue twisters.
Right.
And also the drumming thing, too, if you kind of zone out and put it on autopilot, which is what you have to do with your limbs when you're playing drums sometimes.
Was the tongue twister?
Tongue twister.
Was that the broadcasting school?
Yeah, when I
Rubber
started
baby buggy bumper stuff.
I would do Toy Boat and Unique New York and
Red leather, yellow leather.
Red leather, yellow
Michael
leather,
Hunt.
stuff like that. Michael Hunt, Mike Hunt. Never mind. No, but the hardest one I always thought was Unique New York, and I practiced that. So now I can nail that.
There are combinations like that I'm like, I don't want to say it that way. You know, we just like, and people who don't know how to write copy will juxtapose words that just collide with each other.
I need to do the Toy Boat one again because when I do the Del Toyota commercials, if I say Toyota by like the fourth time, it starts to come out Toyota.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but yeah.
I've seen, I think in their own TV commercial, they have, well, somebody, maybe it's for Toyotathon. After a while, she says it so much that it comes out Toda. Toda.
Yeah.
Toda.
All right. Anyway, I thought I would share that game with you guys and see what you thought about it.
I thought it was fine. It's a fun little thing. Kathy loved it.
It's a party game. If you try it with a group of people, you get people cracking up and they can't finish it, and it just becomes hilarious.
Well, again, it's like the tongue twisters. I mean, that's meant to elicit that poor performance.
Yeah. And it was funny because Caroline had some friends staying the night over, and my buddy Will, who is, by the way, is this infectiously fun guy. Like, you can't help but have a good time around Will. A few of the teenagers are over there. He's like, I'm going to see if they want to play. And he goes over and he starts to describe it to him, and one of Caroline's friends just goes, why? And he goes, never mind. Okay.
Like that girl.
Sorry.
Kathy approves.
Yeah.
Those are my kind of people.
All right. So I thought I'd share that, but then there's something else I think we can get into, and that is I have some stories from the City Beat that I thought would be interesting.
Scoobly, wow.
There's.
Home of the.
These are all stories in and around our area, and I thought I would share a few with you.
And by area, you mean 2,000 mile range?
Yeah, somewhere in that range. So there was a story we had yesterday about a doctor at the Eagles game that was in his mummer's outfit, and he helped save someone's life.
Yeah.
There was somebody else involved in that, too, actually, which I'm glad there's a follow-up story, too. But they've identified him. His name is Dr. Vincent Basile. Or Basile is how you
I'd say Basile.
His name, so Basile.
Not Basile?
Basile. I'm not really sure, but apparently he was at the Eagles game and he had he was wearing a pink dress and face paint.
From his
after
mummers.
performing in the Mummers Parade.
He had like stripes on his face. His entire face was painted.
And he was at the game with his girlfriend, and somebody started calling for help. He said that his girlfriend tapped him on the shoulder and said, hey, there's a guy lying down over there on the ground. So he ran over to see if he could help. And what he found was an injured fan bleeding and turning blue with security and a nurse trying to help out. And he said, the next thing you know, a guy in a pink dress is running up next to me. This is Natalie, or he didn't say this, Natalie Spencer, who was a nurse.
Okay.
She happened to be at the game with her son.
How
as well.
fortuitous, right?
Yeah. So Basile said, hey, I know I don't look like it, but I'm an emergency medicine doctor.
I know I look like a surgeon.
Yeah. So from there, the nurse, who was in full Eagles gear, by the way, and the doctor, still wearing the pink dress, face paint, and sunglasses, teamed up, and they had their training ready to go. So Basile said, he's not talking, he's blue, he doesn't look like he's breathing. The nurse, Spencer, said, he looked at me and said, start compressions until we can get an AED here.
You know what? This is easily a great Mummer ER.
Mummer ER.
A high concept Mummer ER where you are brought in and they are all dressed in Mummer's gear and, you know, they come over with the music and the whole thing.
Well, they could just combine it so it's Mum and Mum ER in big letters.
Yeah.
MUMM in lowercase and then ER.
Right?
Oh, that's perfect.
It's perfect because, and then think of the, you know, again, the tie-in, the New Year's episode is going to be big. Mm-hmm. I love it.
After a few minutes of performing CPR on the man, his color started to come back, and he regained consciousness. He was confused what he woke up to. Basile said, I doubt the first thing you expect to see is a mummer with face paint on wearing pit viper glasses. And despite this strange sight, his first question makes any Eagles fan proud. Basile said, believe it or not, the first thing to come out of the guy's mouth was he asked what the score of the game was.
You don't want to know.
And no one told him.
Yes, good. You want to be good. You couldn't disrupt the patient.
They were losing, and he was just relieved that his heart was working again. And Basile said it's the most Philly thing to happen.
It's amazing.
The fans recovering in the hospital is expected to be okay, by the way.
Well, we talked about it yesterday about, statistically how many times at a sporting event, we had a doctor, I guess, who has done that kind of stuff, or a medical worker says it's quite often.
Yeah.
You have 50, 60, 70,000 people gathered.
Yep. You're going to have plenty of things taking place almost at every single event.
Yeah, and it's weird to say, you're lucky that these people were around you. To be lucky is that wouldn't have happened to you at all.
Right.
But, the truth is, if that were to happen to me, I'd probably be in a section of high school dropouts. So the fact that you had a doctor and a nurse, right there.
Yeah, it's a good thing. All right, here's another story for the City Beat, and this is great news for cheesesteak lovers and for me personally, because this is my favorite place, Jim's South Street Cheesesteak. And Hoagie Shop are posting their renderings of the new building on their Twitter account Sunday afternoon, along with a New Year's message that says that they will reopen this year.
Wow.
After the fire.
Wow, yeah. I was wondering when that was going to happen.
They wrote, Happy New Year to you and yours. We're beyond thrilled to share some early plans for our rebuild. Can't wait to see you guys again in 2023.
What are they primarily going to sell there?
I think they're going to sell falafels. No. So the renderings show a proposed second floor addition.
Ooh.
So if you've ever been to Jim's, they did have a second floor.
They did?
You actually had to walk kind of through part of the kitchen to get there in the back, and it always felt weird because it felt like you were walking into the employees area.
But you could eat up there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
That's where I would go.
But the thing was, you couldn't go up there. And if there wasn't a space, you couldn't just kind of hang around. You had to go back downstairs or go outside or something like that. It was really cramped, really, really small.
Lorenzo's has an upstairs too, right?
Wait, on South Street?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I don't think so.
I feel like they had either upstairs or a back room.
You were in someone's apartment.
Or maybe I'm remembering this.
I think you're thinking of Jim's. What's that?
I think Casey's remembering Jim's too, because every time I ever went to Lorenzo's, it was go in, get the pizza, and then leave.
All right, hang on though. Was there a mural in that room?
In Jim's?
Yeah.
I mean, there were pictures all over the wall. The autographs continued upstairs as well.
There was a hole in the wall that took you to Paris.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or it was just a picture of the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, that was it. So anyhow, I don't know, Case, you get your memories crossed, I think. But maybe people could text in. But I don't remember ever going. I never went upstairs at Lorenzo's. And there was a residence upstairs because Joe told me about that, the owner of Lorenzo's.
That'd be a cool place to live.
All right, so anyway, it smelled great.
Yeah.
So the renderings of the proposed second floor addition are available. The steak shop didn't give an estimated date for reopening this year. This is the most recent update since the South Street staple was lost by fire in July of 2022. Last month, they gave an update to their customers on the progress, which showed the damage done by the fire. So that's cool. That's good news.
So I don't eat a lot of cheesesteaks. I don't.
Neither do I. Couple a year, maybe.
Yeah, and for 2 years running, the one that I can clearly remember having is Wilson's.
Impossible cheesesteak. Yeah. See, I don't count that.
Right.
I've had those a few times, and Steve knows because he always makes it for us, and that's definitely my favorite. But I personally don't count that as
a cheesesteak.
As a cheesesteak, it's in some cases it's a little better, I think. But Jim's is definitely my favorite, cheesesteak place.
Yeah, I'm glad that they're coming back.
Yeah.
Is it going to include a rooftop area, or will it all be enclosed?
I don't know. I didn't see the second
with bottle
floor
service
edition, but you know what I would like? I would like a picture of us that we've autographed on their wall.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah,
I think that'd be. I would see that. Me personally,
not the Rocky impersonator. That's not.
No, that's actually at.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
that's Pat's.
Yeah.
But I would see that as a real source of pride
for sure.
If our picture was hanging up autographed at Jim's, I would think that would be awesome. So people, the powers that be at Jim's, I would be honored to do that. If
We're not going to do it.
I know they won't.
If I ever opened a place in the city, which will never happen, but like a rooftop bar or a rooftop lounge, they're so cool. And like any place that has those in Philadelphia, for whatever reason, I just find them enormously attractive. Is that place at the Logan Hotel?
Yes.
You can sit outside and just, I don't know,
Great.
there's something like cool and liberating about it. I think Midtown, Continental Midtown has that as well. And it's just, I don't know, it's a neat addition to a place.
Hey, shouldn't we have is it the Palm restaurant that has all those caricatures of...
That closed.
Did that close?
Palm, right?
Did it?
Okay.
Damn it, I have a gift card.
I never went there. You have a gift card?
I just saw it. It's in my closet. I was like,
Wait a second. That closed?
I don't know.
Marissa, do you know if Palm closed? Yeah, I thought it did.
Yeah.
Oh,
Where can I use my
man.
gift card?
Well, maybe now they'll put a caricature of us. Then it's closed.
Yes, they have closed. They were in the Bellevue, and the Bellevue, everything in the Bellevue has moved out.
Oh.
They're supposed to be doing some sort of.
What about the chocolatier that was there?
Yeah, everything's gone. I did hear they were putting a roller skating rink.
Ooh.
In that
Right?
building?
Wouldn't that be fun? Like in the food court in the basement.
Interesting.
Nice.
Right?
By the way, Caroline's first job is coming up at a roller skating rink.
Whoa.
In line 309.
309?
Yeah, they recently redid the whole floor. It's
Oh,
awesome.
no kidding.
Yeah.
I went to a skate
That's where
party there.
the new Palm is.
We went skating there about a week ago.
It's a great rink.
Yeah. All right. So anyhow, so they're going to reopen. And by the way, Casey, people are texting in that Lorenzo's had like a back room.
Okay.
Standing room only.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it said Lorenzo's had a back room, not much bigger than a closet. Standing room only. It says before the fire. Yeah, they did
had
have
a fire too,
That's
yeah.
right.
They had a fire in 2012, and that damaged the second floor where somebody had been living.
Yeah. All right.
Get out of here.
So there you go. All right, let's see what else we got in the city beat streets. Okay.
That was the guy who lived above
scat man.
Lorenzo's.
No wonder they burned him out.
That's the guy that lives above Lorenzo's.
So they burned him out.
We got to get rid of this guy.
I'm a scat man.
Shut up!
Anybody have any guess?
Yeah.
Just pay no attention to him, please. We can't. He's got a long lease. We
He
can't.
pays on time.
We can't get rid of him. So
yeah.
just hang on. All right. The Philly Goat Project has returned.
Kathy's the goat of that game he came in with.
That's right. But not this. On January 7th, so just a couple of days away, there's a rain date on the 8th. Later this month, January 21st, with a rain date on the 22nd, Philadelphians can bring their whole family to the 5th annual Christmas tree cycle from noon to 3. And it's a chance for you to get rid of the Christmas trees in an environmentally friendly, unique, and beneficial way. For the whole community. At the event, the trees become snacks for the goats. We talked about this last year.
Yes, it's pretty wild.
And they'll also be turned into wood chips used to cover trails in the cities.
Which is great.
And parks and community gardens throughout Philadelphia.
You can bring your artificial trees for the robot goats.
No, I don't think so. Thanks to a partnership with the Philadelphia Streets Department and the Philadelphia Parks and Recreation Department.
That's a perfect thing. Have you seen this thing? I don't know if I sent the article to you, Preston, about taking that is kind of a thing to take branches from your Christmas tree and use it for spices and drinks and things like that.
Oh.
Have you seen this?
No.
I'll see if I can dig it up and send it to you. Maybe that's a connoisseur thing.
Yeah,
but-
I use it for like planters outside of my house, and I didn't get a real tree this year, so I've been stalking my family members. I'm like, don't throw the tree out. I'm coming over to cut the branches.
What do you use it for?
Planters, like outside the house decoration.
Oh, so you just put them in a pot?
Yeah, in a planter, and you create like an outdoor potted plant. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And how long do those last?
They'll
If
last.
it's just branches.
They'll last. I mean, I have my Christmas ones are still out there, and they're fine. And
It's like a winter decoration, right?
Yeah, and
But,
it'll last
no,
probably.
my question is, do they grow? Do they?
Oh, no.
Okay, so it's just as long as they last,
Yeah,
they
as long-
just kind
yeah.
of look festive.
Right.
Okay. So at the event, there's a fundraiser for the Philly Goat Project's nonprofit. A $20 donation along with the tree will directly support GPG's many events throughout the year that span community goat walks, children's
goat walk,
yes, literacy events, youth job training, environmental education, and a bunch more.
I love we've talked about how much we love goats and that they're cool looking. I didn't realize there was such a concerted effort to benefit the goat population.
In total, there are 3 options for the tree cycle events. There's the express curbside drop off and donate, which is at 6336 Ardley Street entrance. There's the Goat Safari drive-through.
Ooh.
It's a farm to drop off.
Look, another goat.
Or you can park on Washington Lane and bring your tree in yourself.
Welcome to Goat-Asic Park.
What do they got there? Goats?
Philly. Goat-Asic Park. Philly Goat Projects makes the event.
Where's the Tyrannosaurus Rex? Oh, we don't have it, but we have the goat.
The one that the Tyrannosaurus is going to eat.
You probably should have a little bit more than just a goat tied to a pole.
Philly Goat Project makes the event worth staying for, however, with a...
Welcome to Goat-Asic Park.
And that's how you make a goat.
Yeah. Oh, that's a little animation ahead of time. It just shows goats banging each other. Having graphic sex. So there will be a fire pit on site with free s'mores, free hot cocoa.
What?
And a petting area with the goats.
Under the shirt?
I remember going to petting zoos, and goats were usually the main...
Yes. Oh God. Yeah. They're very good.
Attraction.
They're good with people doing that and kids.
I remember either getting little baby bottles filled with milk that they would eat. These are the little goats, or an ice cream cone.
Yes.
Filled with feed.
They had at the zoo.
And they would eat the whole ice cream cone, obviously.
At the Philly Zoo, they had a, and I don't know if they still have it, but they had
the gorilla petting zoo?
No, just a regular petting zoo.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you would buy the ice cream cones.
Oh, yes. I love that.
So you don't have to bring a tree to partake in the activities. And additionally, a quiet visiting area will also be available for special needs friends. Swag will be available for purchases at the event, including PGP's famous 2023 calendar, which features the goats at landmarks around Philadelphia, including the Citizens Bank Park, Academy of Music Stage, Reading Terminal Market, and more. Calendars are $15 each, and proceeds also go to support nonprofit.
They should set up a Goat Fund Me.
Goat Fund Me.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a good name. A few more notes about tree donations. PGP asks that you please remove all decorations.
Yes, that makes
Imagine
sense.
with a fully decorated tree. You can walk
and
out.
here are the presents that were under it.
Before donating it. No, but sometimes those little metal hooks can come out of the ornament and
you don't want
still
the
be on there, and you don't want
goat
to
to eat that.
Yep. And Christmas trees should be pesticide free. Wreaths are not accepted, by the way. So,
Why?
Because I think sometimes wreaths have wiring inside of them, Kathy, that hold them together.
It's usually the case.
Yeah, I guess.
So maybe if you took it
Took it
apart,
apart, yeah.
something
Who
like
wants
that.
to do that?
But they're not doing
Goats are
wreaths.
eating full trees. They don't want your stinking wreath.
We, my friend collects all of the rotten pumpkins after Halloween and after the fall. She literally drove around the neighborhood this year, called all her friends, was like, put them out on your front step. I'm coming by for them. Her parents live on a farm and they give them to the sheep.
Oh, yeah. Sure. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's a decent service because we've got a creek that's kind of just across. Actually, you guys would call it a crick because it's tiny across from us. And right after Halloween, there's just loads of pumpkins that people just have tossed in there. Because there are deer that come in through those areas. Do deer even eat pumpkins?
Yes,
I have no idea.
They do.
Yeah.
Okay. They were doing it in our backyard this year, and it was the same thing, Kathy. There were a few in the neighborhood. And Steve, I think I told you this, it was last year or the year before, but we ended up having a small little pumpkin patch.
Yes.
Because we disposed of one of the pumpkins, and the seeds germinated and a pumpkin started to grow.
They grow so we had 2 pumpkins that just grew in our garden randomly because a couple of the seeds from our pumpkin got into it.
That's great.
And it's pretty cool. Have you ever seen, it's oddly soothing to watch hippos eat pumpkins.
Yes.
And I think they do, don't the bison at Elmwood Park Zoo
eat hippos?
No, eat pumpkins.
They're vegetarians.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think they do, yeah.
I've fed them before there. They have a bison feeding charcuterie board that you can set up. And
Do people eat hippos?
They just kind of pick at it.
Don't mind if I do.
Ooh, is that brie?
Ooh, very nice.
What were you gonna say, Case?
Hippos. Do people eat hippos? Do they eat elephant? And do they eat rhinoceros?
I will tell you what we know about hippos. They're the deadliest animal in Africa.
Yeah.
And they
fast swimmers.
You know, and incredibly fast, incredibly fast on land.
Yes, they do. Hippo meat is a popular food in Africa, and it's considered to be a delicacy.
Welcome to hippos.
Welcome to hippos. I know what to get Casey for Christmas.
What?
The compendium of all edible animals.
Right. Yeah.
In the world, just so we can set his mind at ease. Do people eat those things?
Well, you got
I
to
love
figure
it.
there's a ton of meat on. I would imagine.
Have you ever seen the footage? It always blows me away when they'll be taking a river cruise and they'll come. They start swimming aggressively at
hippos. Yeah.
Oh my God.
In case you're right, there's literally a ton of meat.
Yeah.
2,000 pounds or more, probably.
Yep. Elephant is edible as well. And rhino is, but people don't because it's an endangered species and it's illegal.
Right. What would you like
But the elephant isn't?
I don't know. Elephant hunting is illegal in some places
Because of the ivory. They're
Yeah,
going
but
after,
it's legal in other places because it actually helps control the population and
They beat them to death with rhinos.
Yeah.
They actually swing a rhino at it?
Elephant hunting and elephant shooting is a interesting to me and controversial topic because a lot of people balk at it, but there are actually upsides to it. And
So that you don't have them starving to death.
You're talking about culling.
And culling, and
Yeah.
it also, believe it or not, it eliminates some poaching when hunting becomes legal. So it's something that I would never want to do and go shooting an elephant, but I understand why some people feel the need to do that.
Casey, what animal would you like to eat?
Oh, I don't really.
You're just curious
Lion.
if people eat them.
I think I'd like to eat a.
Well,
yeah.
the movie The Freshman was about this exotic. I have no desire whatsoever. I'm trying to eliminate as much of just meat and. I'm a salmon guy, but there's a mommy salmon and a daddy salmon. And,
No, I mean I really don't go like I eat chickens, turkeys, cows. I don't eat sheep. I've had lamb like once or twice. But if I were to go, okay, get me a burger made of this kind of meat.
Like ostrich?
I think, maybe a grizzly bear.
A grizzly bear burger?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that would probably be pretty yummy.
You ever had elk?
No.
I have, yeah.
I
Elk
had
is good.
venison jerky one time.
Yeah, elk is pretty tasty.
That's an elk.
Sounds good.
Yeah, out
ostrich.
west, you can find elk pretty regularly.
Welcome to
in
elks.
restaurants. Yeah. Jesus.
I was watching Welcome Elks.
Welcome to Gazelles.
I was watching one of the Planet of the Apes movies. It was the second one, which I believe is Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
You're talking about the new, yes.
They're good, man. That trilogy, I think, is
Matt
pretty
Reeves,
decent.
the last one is epic.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's really good. But there was a scene in the second movie where Caesar's son gets attacked by a grizzly bear, right? And they had a perfect opportunity to have a gorilla face off against the grizzly bear, and they didn't.
Right.
Yeah, Koba ended up coming and saving the lives of Caesar or whatever. But I've often wondered, like, if you actually...
There was a series case.
Yeah.
You remember the series?
I know.
So see what they determined, because I'm sure they had...
Hang on.
I feel like,
What have you often wondered?
like... who would win in a fight? Would it be a grizzly bear, a gorilla, tiger, lion?
All right, so do you want my reckoning? Give me what are the pairings, or is it just a brawl?
Not a brawl, but if you were to pair each one of those together, who would like
a grizzly bear and a gorilla?
You had like
grizzly bear would kill a gorilla.
Yeah, you think?
Yes.
Okay.
Grizzly bear and tiger. I think a grizzly, unless it was like a Siberian tiger. Perhaps, but I think the grizzly
Taking
bear...
the biggest and the baddest of all of them, right? Like they've all fought in the Kumite against each other, and then you've got the champion of all of them.
I wonder how a hippo would do against a mockingbird.
We've had this.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We've had this conversation before because my vote went to gorilla. Because I believe the gorilla's ability to grab, I think gorillas are smarter.
Hold a gun?
They could grab a gun or a
No
spear.
weapons in my scenario.
Goddamn gun.
I think opposable thumbs are more of an advantage than the strength, the pure strength of the grizzly bear.
So I was kind of right. I think Connor called up here in the battle of the grizzly bear versus tiger. A Siberian tiger would win a fight against a grizzly because Siberian tigers are huge.
And that's according to Google.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, A to Z animals.
Yeah. .com. Okay. So
Did I Google that?
What was the name of that show? That was it was a
Animal
long time ago. It was
Battles
like 17, 18 years ago.
And they
that
did
show was
the
out.
classic pairing of all the animals.
Yeah.
And then once they did all that, the show had nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Is this the City Beat?
It is.
Oh.
It is.
I don't know how we ended up in Africa, but
we have they have cities there.
there are cities. It's supposed to be Philadelphia. All right, one more thing I want to
Africa
mention.
was supposed to be Philadelphia.
Philly Loves Bowie Week is coming up.
We were talking about this yesterday.
Yes.
And how big this has become.
Yeah, it's become a thing now. It's a nice observation. I like it because, Bowie recorded Young Americans here at Sigma Sound, and I think he did a live album. Was it at the Tower?
Yes,
That was
I
selling
believe
shows?
so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's a celebration. And his passing, I believe, I don't remember the date, but it was
right around
in
now.
January.
Yeah.
So they're acknowledging him, and Marissa was saying it's just kind of it's caught momentum over the years. It's always been kind of a thing for a few years, but it has started to pick up a little bit more. So there's a couple of activities that are going on.
Just watch the Bowie documentary concert/documentary that's available.
Okay.
Phenomenal.
Nice.
He was born and died in the same week. He, not, in the same year, but he was born January 8th, and then he died January 10th.
Okay. But there's a couple things like Bowie Bowling Night at Brooklyn Bowl.
I love to bow.
Is January.
I'm David Bowie, and this Christmas, thousands of African children won't get the thrill of bowling. Thousands of Ethiopian children will not enjoy a turkey. I mean, the kind of turkey you get in bowling.
Yeah, 3 strikes in a row.
Anybody watch Age Daydream yet?
What's that?
The documentary, the Bowie documentary came out last year.
I think that's the same one case because it's great, and I just saw it, and I was wondering if they were talking about that one or if there was an.
I'm sorry. I love bowling.
This year, Ethiopian children will not have the joy of a turkey because they won't get to a bowling alley.
All right, there's another event. There's a few events going on. Bowie Quizzo.
Oh.
At Doobie's Bar. Maybe he loved Quizzo, too. I don't know.
All Bowie trivia? Because I would suck at that.
All right, I'm good at Quizzo, but not Bowie Quizzo.
Sigma Kid and Doobie's owner, Patty Brett, host an entirely Bowie-centric quiz night with prizes.
I'm out.
I know it. So, he also has obviously an impressive movie career,
Yeah, there's a lot of material there.
Yeah.
So special Bowie beers include Loving the Alien Saison, Young Americans Cranberry Sour, and Never Get Old IPA.
So my 17-year-old daughter, I think Bowie's like kind of her favorite right now, which is kind of cool.
Good for her.
Yeah, and so
he transcends, all subsects of rock and just music in general. He was that talented.
But is there anything during Bowie Week that like a high school kid can go to?
There's Bowieoke.
Okay.
All right. Bowieoke is, it says, Sarah Scher of Sing Your Life Karaoke returns to Johnny Brenda's to host an all Bowie edition. The event is free to attend, but it's filling up fast. You want to get there and pick your song. So that's a Johnny Brenda's. So it's a bar, right?
It is a bar. What time does that start?
8 p.m.
Yeah.
So I don't think you
I'm
kids.
David Bowie, and I'd like to encourage you to snort, whistle, and raspberry.
See?
Yeah.
David liked it, Kathy. Let's see. There's food specials for Philly Loves Bowie Week. Blue Electric Blue Ice Cream Sandwich at Weckerly's.
Bowie Thai pasta.
Philly
That's
loves.
good.
There's
Yeah.
Philly Loves Bowie brunch at is it Chattayi Thai? Is that how you pronounce it? Thank you, Marissa. There's John I'm Only Eating at Doobie's Bar. I don't know the John I'm Only Eating. I assume that's
Well,
a
it
reference
should
to a
be.
song.
Heroes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're Hoagies.
Yeah, they call them Hoagies
Yeah.
here, but a hero is a
Yeah,
sandwich.
right.
You're right.
We can eat heroes.
And then
John, I'm Only Dancing is a Bowie song.
Is it? Okay. I don't know the deep cuts of Bowie. I know the hits. I know a couple of off the beaten path songs, but I'm not a deep cut
What's
guy.
for Dinner, Maud? His other hit?
What's for Dinner, Maud?
That was a
It's
hit.
about a man who comes home after a long day. His wife happens to be named Maud. And he asks, what's for dinner?
That's what the song's about?
Yeah.
No deeper meaning?
No, and she says, oh, tonight we're serving grizzly bear. He says, I didn't know you could eat those. Oh, you can eat anything.
I didn't mean to snort. And the Bow Nut.
Good.
At Federal Donuts.
Okay.
So there's a donut there that Federal Donuts is doing. It's a velvet.
Oh, I thought it was a wholly different thing.
No.
Is this white pudding?
Not that kind of nut.
Vanilla pudding?
Federal Donuts brings back its Bowie-inspired Velvet Goldmine, a spiced cake donut with, like spicy. I'm not a big fan of that.
I do like spiced cake. What is a classic spiced cake? Like a
carrot cake or something?
I would say carrot cake, but I think more
like gingerbread.
Fruit, gingerbread or fruit cake. What?
I don't like fruit in the.
Like carrot cake or something? I think it is carrot cake. Like carrot cake or something?
This is David Bowie. I'd like to purchase a carrot cake. It'd be the perfect capper to make grizzly bear dinner.
No, I would not put carrot cake in that category.
No,
I think
it's
that's
got
all on its own.
No?
Yeah, that's on its own.
Oh.
You know what makes carrot? And now we're in the connoisseur. However,
That's tomorrow.
to me, the home run of the carrot cake, and I love the cake itself, is the icing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh, the cream
Also,
cheese icing. Yeah.
I don't like carrot cake either.
What?
I do
It's
love
my
carrot cake.
I
And
have-
I'm not a big fan of carrots.
I like carrots. I don't know. It's not worth it.
I love carrot cake.
Not worth it?
And I like snort whistle raspberry too.
I don't like that.
When was the last time you had a carrot cake?
Check your journal.
I will tell you.
Check it.
I know the last time I had carrot cake.
Okay.
Believe it or not, we were at the Camp Out for Hunger in the Metroplex.
Okay.
That was the last time.
What?
Yes, and the only reason I know this is because
A decade ago?
yes, I don't like carrot cake.
So when is the anniversary?
I think it was the anniversary this past Camp Out. Yeah,
Okay.
that because I remember because a friend of mine dropped it off, and so I was like, I want to taste it, and so I had some. And
Was it store bought?
No. She's like a baker. She made it.
Oh, and you didn't like that?
I don't remember if I disliked it, but I obviously didn't go back and get more after that.
I think that's sort of just about everybody I know digs carrot cake.
Yeah.
When it's done right.
Yeah, there's a store right around the corner from here. I'm not going to say the name of
Target.
it, but it's a bakery right around the corner here.
Are you
And they have little bunts, and they have a carrot bunt.
I like
It's
bunts.
amazing.
Okay. Anyhow, back to this. It's a spiced cake donut with vanilla cream glaze, blue sugar, red sprinkles, and an edible gold flake stripe. So it looks like the lightning
Which is,
stripe.
I love that look. It's
across
such
his
an
face.
iconic look. Where's the closest federal? How many of them are there?
Marissa, you happen to know offhand?
There's a bunch of them. They just opened one on right next to Helium, or like right down the street from Helium.
They're all primarily in the city?
Yes.
You think so?
Yeah.
Because I think I'd
Maybe
like to get the
University
Bowie.
City?
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I'll pick some up. It's right near my house.
all right.
I'll pick some up and bring them in.
Locations: 2nd Street, Center City, North Philly, South Street, West Philly, East Market Parkway, Whole Foods Center City. So yeah, Steve, it looks like there's one Citizens Bank Park. Winwood.
Right, Whole Foods there.
What's that, Marissa?
I think they have a little stand in the supermarket there.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So the bow nut. I like it.
By the way, that benefits the Bowie Chop Fund and will be available at all Fed Nuts locations until it sells out January 13th. Various locations
This
that'll be
Christmas,
available.
many Ethiopian children will not know the joy of bowling.
So it's all for Philly Loves Bowie Week.
I think listen, the more of that stuff, it's sort of the spice of life here. And if you're going to honor someone, a musician, Bowie's, is about as good as you can get.
Yep, absolutely. All right, City Beat, wrapping it up. That's it. That's all we have time for. But I figure those are some interesting stories we're sharing this morning. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back in just a moment. Don't forget our Word of the Week prize. You could end up with lawn seats for the summer at the Freedom Mortgage Pavilion.
Amazing.
So it's at the end of the show. Don't miss out on it. We give that away tomorrow. I'll be right back.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
We were going into a very big theater into Chicago, and there was and nobody really knew very much about Grease at that time.
Right.
The movie had not come out yet. It was just a hit on Broadway, and there were a few national tours. So the company manager said, "Look, we're having a lot of trouble with this opening night. We're going to paper the house. Tell your dad that you can invite the entire congregation." So,
oh man, that's a
I didn't mention that my father is a priest, an Orthodox priest.
Right,
They can get married.
And Greece is
Eastern Orthodox priests can get married.
Greece is very profane.
Oh God, yeah,
yeah, the stage show.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
I'm giving the finger on the show, and it's just like the original Grease was not meant for kids; it was meant for adults looking back on their lives in high school.
So he brings down the congregation.
So there were 500 Romanian people screaming and yelling, and they had their gypsy violins, and they were going singing the act. Every time I came out, there was a big cheer. It was then that my father was won over, and he kind of. Although he didn't understand when I ended up getting television and film when I was doing T.J. Hooker. he didn't really understand what that was all about. So he says, You work for 1 hour. What you do rest of week?
That's great.
You are a bum. I got into this business because I wanted to be an actor.
Right.
That's it. I never even wanted to do television and film. I just wanted to work in theater.
Right.
That's all I ever wanted to do. And then one thing happens, and then you're just whisked away, and suddenly you're in Hollywood, and you're doing all this stuff.
You're good friends with William Shatner, right?
Yeah, I'm actually. We're currently working on a few projects with his production company. Actually, we're letting it out right now. We're actually thinking of bringing Hooker back.
Oh,
in a comical way.
That'd be awesome.
Perfect. Bill is 88. Yeah. But the funny thing about it is that when we did Hooker, Bill pretty much did push the envelope on asking for ridiculous things for Hooker to do.
Okay.
I mean, we had technical advisors from LAPD there, and he said, "Look, no, I got this idea. How about I just run over to the helicopter, and as it's going up, I just grab onto the rung of the helicopter, and when we're up in the air, I take my gun out and I go, bring it down." And the TA standing there going, nobody would ever do that.
The top text here says, "Poor man's Travolta, my ass."
Yeah.
He made Bachelor Party, which is an absolute. It's one of my favorite films, and you have one of the best lines in the movie. I think personally.
Look at the cans on that pinball.
Well, you're telling him, man, I really would love to have a relationship.
I would love to have this relationship that you have, and someday I'll have kids and be happy. And hey, look at the cans on that pinball. That movie. Tom and I lived very close to each other. So so we lived in Studio City, and the soundstage that we were shooting this at was in Culver City. So it was a pretty good distance to go on the 405 freeway.
And you've been on Bosom Buddies, right?
Yes, yes. I played Johnny Midnight, his boyhood friend from camp.
So you knew him?
Yeah. And we'd carpool to work because we could go in the carpool lane and everything. And as every day after we get in the car and we go, our careers are over. Our careers are really over. What are we doing?
Yeah.
This is going to be terrible.
Yeah. No.
All we did was show up for 13 hours a day and goof off.
Yeah.
Almost nothing of what the script originally was in there. We just ad-libbed. We just goofed off. And honestly, some of the funniest scenes in the movie never made it into the movie because we had gotten an X rating.
There's a horse scene. There's a horse
a donkey show.
Let me tell you about this. The donkey actually died.
What?
They brought him back to life.
No.
They literally shot him with some shot of something for him to go, and then he keeled over. and his heart stopped.
Oh my God.
And we've got all these people, there's like 100 extras. Many of, the girls are half naked and everything. We're all standing there going, oh my God, they killed the donkey.
Dear Lord.
You resurrected a donkey, Adrian Cement?
And they did the whole adrenaline thing, you know what I mean? They put the
Oh my
thing in his
God.
heart and he came back.
The donkey snorts 3 lines of coke.
You definitely could.
It's a real good kids movie. I'm really proud.
You're thinking your career's over, but no.
And then, honestly, when we saw the first cut, it was like, but Tom and I looked at each other. This is funny. What the hell happened?
Is there any chance you could go back and re-release a director's cut by any chance, or is it too late?
Back then, they didn't save that kind of footage.
Yeah, now they do all the time.
And they do it all the time because of everything they do. But honestly, there was one scene that was absolutely hysterical. So we're the bachelor, the party's not going very well. The hookers haven't showed up. We're sitting in the hotel room looking at a Shirley Temple movie. Right. And it's just not going well.
The hookers go to the wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
So then I say, Rick, let's go downstairs and get something to eat. I'm hungry. So we get into the. I'm not gonna do this to say this on radio. This was cut. I said, sit in this booth. This is the best booth in the place. So he sits in there, and all of a sudden you hear his zipper sound. His eyes light up. Right. There's a girl underneath who is
taking care of him,
going to give him a happy ending of some sort. So I, saying my gift to you.
Yeah.
And we see the minister who's going to marry him walk into the restaurant and go, oh, Father, over here, come on, over here. So he comes to the edge and he starts having a conversation with us, and Tom's going, oh, Jesus. Oh, Mother of God. Oh, Mother Mary and Joseph. Oh, he's writhing and everything. And I say, he always says grace before he eats. So.
That's great.
He can't take it anymore. He gets up and runs out. And I said, Father, sit here. It's the best seat in the house. Close up on his face, you hear the zipper sound, and his eyes go like.
That's great.
Didn't make it in the movie. We had offended everybody else. They didn't want to offend the Catholics.
It's so freaking funny.
You and Tom were friends. Could you tell then what a talent he was and what he was going to go on to
and
be?
Honestly, one of the nicest guys in the business. Everything that's ever happened to him, he deserves every bit of it. He's a great guy.
That's great.
Very talented.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you.
A lot of people don't know this, but Tom was not originally cast in that role, and neither was Tawny Katane.
Tawny Katane was the it girl of the time, and she was the White Snake videos. It predates, I think, the White Snake video.
Who was?
Well, we shot 1 month with the other cast.
Who was it?
Oh, no way.
It was Paul Reiser.
Really?
And Kelly McGinnis.
Oh, my goodness.
Did they get fired?
Well, the producers just felt there wasn't a chemistry going on and everything. And Tom, they had just seen a screening of Splash.
Okay.
Oh.
And they said, we really need to get that guy
that's like
for this.
I couldn't even imagine. And Paul Reiser's talented, man, but he's great. He just doesn't have the kinetic.
He was very funny.
Was he?
He was very funny.
Yeah.
There just wasn't a chemistry that was going on.
That's happened before. Back to the Future. Eric Stoltz was. They filmed for quite a while with him in the lead role, and
the scene where he falls and hits his head. That's Eric Stoltz's head. When he falls out of the tree, bonks his head on the.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's Eric Stoltz.
Wow. Okay.
Did not know that.
It's if you've never seen Bachelor Party, and it's worth going back for a visit. A number of people also texting in asking if we're going to bowl tonight, Adrian.
It's funny. I've had the great fortune and lucky to have 2 cult classic movies that are really. They're targeting completely different people.
Yeah.
And it's just really kind of cool after all these years. In theater, which is really my first love, and that's why I still do theater. If I'm going to be doing television and film, I'd rather be behind the camera these days. But if I'm going to act, I'd rather be on a stage, because that is the actor's medium. It's electric. It's like a drug. Yeah. Grease, too, it was an opportunity to put it was my Danny Zuko that I put on film.
Right, because you weren't. They had to created another character, which is basically Danny Zuko.
Yeah,
and it was a weird thing because you had Grease comes out. You have Travolta's on a meteoric rise. You have Olivia Newton-John. You have all these big stars in it, and then they go with Grease 2, and they cast not unknowns, but
they actually did something really kind of. They took a big chance.
Yes.
In what they did. They did not. It was very unique what they did. They also created they created a musical that was never a proven hit on Broadway.
Right.
So none of these songs had ever been heard. It didn't have a track record or anything. And a lot of people, Grease 1 obviously was a massive, huge success. But Grease 2 didn't actually do badly. It in its theatrical release, it made about $80 to $100 million.
I watched
at that time, and people to think that it wasn't as big a hit, but today it outrents and outsells Grease 1.
Really?
It's more kid friendly, and it's actually more of the essence of what Grease, the original Broadway show, was about. It was about all the T-Birds. It was about all the Pink Ladies, whereas the movie of Grease became a vehicle for John and Olivia. In the play, Kanicki sings "Grease Lightning," not Danny.
That's true.
It's his car.
Yeah.
Everybody has had a song in the Broadway show to tell you their story, and that's what. So it's more of an ensemble piece. And Grease 2 was directed by Pat Birch, who was the choreographer of the Broadway show. So she wanted me to do that role badly because they wanted to put a rock star in that role because there weren't any known faces. Michelle had just done, I think, Hollywood Nights.
This is Michelle Pfeiffer
with Tony Danza.
Right.
At that point, it wasn't a big hit or anything like that.
I remember.
And Maxwell Caulfield was not. He was an English actor, but hadn't done much. And they really wanted a rock star in that role. But
Club tonight at 8 o'clock. You can get tickets at heliumcomedy.com. This is Blake Wex.
Hey!
Hi, Blake.
Hello. This is a continuation of my internship, right? I'm getting credit for this.
Yes. At this point,
no money.
Oh, that's perfect. That's how I like it. That's good. That's what I'm used to.
That's exactly how the internship was.
100%.
You could use some money. You just got married since we've seen you. Didn't you get married this past summer?
I did. You're right on both points. I do need money, and I did get married. So, yeah, I got married a couple months ago. Thank you. Got married here in Philly.
Nice. Where'd you guys have the ceremony, the party afterwards, all that stuff?
We did it at the Waterworks down there in Waterworks.
Yeah,
and
that's beautiful down there.
It was gorgeous. Yeah, we were really lucky to be able to do it there.
And I think they redid it. I've gone a couple times, and I've always wanted to do. They have like that subterranean tunnel thing. That you can, it's like hidden waterworks.
I ended up down there by accident. I was looking for the bathroom.
Yeah.
And ended up in like a pump room or something like that. But yeah, there's weird tunnels and things.
It's cool.
Hang on a second. Are you friends with Jason Avant?
I know. Yeah. We're friendly with one another.
All right. We're looking at a post from your Instagram, and Jason Avant, former wide receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles, commented on it, and he said, "Awesome brother." And like,
I was a massive fan of his, obviously, when he was just an incredible slot receiver. I feel like every one of his catches was a first down every single time we threw the ball to him. But yeah, I was lucky enough to meet him at an Eagles event, and he's going to be one of the biggest broadcasters, I feel like, in the next couple of years.
He's got the chops.
Huge, like amazing chops, very smart, also funny. Yeah, I think that guy, the sky's the limit for that guy.
Well, if our listeners don't know, you had been doing a bit of a podcast with Derek Gunn, formerly of NBC Sports Philadelphia, and talking about Eagle stuff.
Yeah, we did a food podcast on where like Eagles meet food, and there were a lot of great guests on it. Dick Vermeil, Brandon Graham was on it, so I was able to, hopefully add a little humor to it as well.
Dick Vermeil is such a cool dude.
Yeah, unobjectionable.
Yeah, just amazing. And when you meet him, it's we tell him when we did the first days of the Camp Out for Hunger, the first times we did the Camp Out for Hunger was at the Adams Market. So Preston, he'll always be a huge picture on a billboard.
That's right.
That's all we ever saw was him. So yeah, it was pretty wild. So with the marriage and all of this stuff has there been sort of a moratorium placed on incorporating married life into your routine, or is it open for the picking?
No, it's open for the picking. My in-laws were kind enough to lift the moratorium. There will be no lawsuits as far as I'm aware of. But yeah, it's been great fodder for stand-up, where it's almost as if you get on stage and having a ring on, it almost is you have a co-signer as a human being when you get up there. Oh, this person's not a total pig,
Right.
Someone can love him.
Women might listen.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my female listenership has tripled since I've gotten married. So yeah, and counting, but it's been great.
So with the marriage and with all that stuff, is she in the industry at all, or
no? She is a health journalist, so she's a health writer. So she actually started covering COVID for multiple publications like Healthline, Huffington Post since COVID started. So
is she from this area? Because you guys got married here, so
yeah, she went to Conestoga High School. Also, she was a year ahead of me and continues to be. I didn't catch up to her age, but yeah, she went to Conestoga. She was year ahead of me.
Did you have to pick the right time to introduce her to Todd Glass?
There is no right time. No, Todd was at our wedding, and there were a lot of things stacking up against Todd Glass, where Todd is a very particular man.
Yeah.
And he doesn't like heat or hot. So he walks. I've never seen someone walk on one side of the street before because it's in the shade.
Right.
You know, he will not cross the street. He would take an Uber from one side of the street to another.
Yeah.
He sweats. Yeah. He revs high. Yeah. And it was 96 degrees outside at like 9 o'clock when we got married, but Todd stuck it out. He was a great sport about it. He was very sweet. So yeah, he loves Julia. Julia loves Todd.
So she went to Conestoga. She was a year ahead of you.
Yeah.
Were you guys, was there a relationship then in high school? Does it last that long?
So we were friendly, and actually for our first anniversary, I got her a gift I saved the texts that we had sent to each other years before we even started dating. And it is very me trying to hang out with her and her making poor excuses as to why she can't.
Do you remember any in particular?
Yeah, I asked her to hang out one weekend, and she was like, oh, sorry, Oktoberfest got me. And Oktoberfest was like 2 weeks before. And I was like, that's not a good excuse. What are you in the hospital? But we did not date back then, but it's almost we've gotten the best versions of ourselves now that we're grown-ups. And we actually reconnected at a Todd Glass show, now that you brought it up, where I was opening for Todd and Julia was in the green room with us. And again, Todd, very particular man. Someone had left a little piece of trash on on his desk in there.
Yeah.
And I saw it and dove on it like it was a grenade, like I was a war hero trying to get it out of his purview. And Julia was like, what is that about Blake? What is he doing there? I'm like, no, it's for Todd. It's not for me.
Oh,
yeah, I'm okay with the trash.
Well, the stories, and Casey, you were at his house. There is so I always knew he was, particular in taking milk out of the cartons and putting them in,
a nice glass.
Yeah. Right. All of that. I didn't realize that it was on a really elevated OCD level, and that's where he is, right?
And he's everything he does improve the ambiance of the situation, where he'll get to the comedy club a day early, gel all the lights, put candles out.
Oh, he goes to Target. He will.
Yeah.
He will. Kidding? He redecorates green rooms if it's not up to like his standards.
And before I started headlining myself, I would only do shows opening for Todd. So I thought that's just how all the rooms looked. And then
it looked like Stevie Nicks' bedroom.
Yeah, exactly. Fleetwood Todd. And then I would get to new comedy clubs where I wouldn't have that luxury, and I'd be like, this place is a dump. And it's like, no, Todd fixes everything when he gets there. So
so I was surprised because when I got to his house, I went to his little podcast studio in his backyard. Yeah. And his backyard, I mean, it's the way it's set up is nice, but there was like stuff on the table and like it was like old glasses and bottles and stuff like that. I was like,
so that's sort of his man cave.
Yeah, we're gonna have to edit this out if he hears it. He's gonna lose it. We can't let it get out that Todd has loose bottles hanging around. He'll lose his mind.
But he was, incapacitated at the time. He had surgery, and so wasn't really moving around.
Yeah,
I guess so. If you want to give him an excuse.
Yeah, he had heavy plastic surgery. Is what he had a face transplant.
That's it. Yeah. Wow, cool. So, by the way, have you taken advantage? I know that they have the recording facilities at Helium. And we've had a few people through who have recorded their specials there.
Yeah.
Is that something that's on your potential?
I've recorded an album there before about
it was a while ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, maybe a year and a half ago. Oh, actually, I've recorded 2 there. One on my own and then one through Helium's recordings.
I got it.
And I'm getting ready to film my own special in Cincinnati next month. So tonight is basically I'm running the hour in a, Helium's the best comedy club in the world. So in a really comfortable environment, try to get the timing down and make sure everything fits.
Now, when obviously we know, and we've heard from a number of different comedians, that you got to have someone who gets comedy to direct it. Who's directing?
Yes. My friend Cy Amundsen, who's a great stand-up comedian, he has a half hour on Comedy Central, did Conan, and he's moving into directing. And we're very, very close friends. Also, I mean, I don't know if I got my particularness from Todd or who I got it from, but it's from Todd. Yeah. And Cy is also very particular, but he's helped me really tighten my act, give me notes to where all my previous releases were, I would do an album because I had written 40 minutes of new material. But this is more of him making me a better comedian in the process of releasing this material.
That's wild.
Blake, when you do a show in Philly, how much of that do you focus on Philadelphia? Do you put a little bit or a whole lot of it?
It starts with, hey, I don't need to lean on that at all. Right. And then it comes out of you, and it's 90% of the show. So, I'm like, I'm just going to do my material that appeals across the country. And then, you start talking about the ins and outs of Jonathan Gannon's defense. And then you started talking about Ben Simmons and start talking about why Jalen Hurts deserves the MVP, even though he's missed 2 games. So, it all comes out.
Helium's a great comedy club for comedians and people going to the shows alike. I mean, it's a really cool place to see a show, but you're a working comedian and you've played the best of the best, and I'm sure some like real dumps. So what is the worst venue you've ever played and why?
The worst venue is probably when I opened my wedding down in that pump room that Preston. It was
that pump room is horrible acoustics.
Yes,
pump's always running.
The aptly named pump room. I would say honestly, God, I did a show once in a parking lot outside, and once I've done a few parking lots, not to brag, and it wasn't even during COVID. It was while things were fully functional. And
oh my God!
I found the person who books all the parking lots. Yeah, and there was horrific wind that day. So, and it never occurred to me.
It kills the sound.
Yeah, it kills the sound, and then it was a gravel parking lot. So just gravel was just flying into my eyes, just into the mic, like ding, 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 just into the mic. And it never occurred to me to not do the show. It's, I got to do my 7 minutes.
This was clearly not an actual comedy parking lot club. Right? It was a pop-up, right? It had to be. Yeah.
Correct. It was a 5-star comedy parking lot. Richard Pryor's performed there, and all the greats. It was Carlin's favorite parking lot to perform in. And no, it was.
I'm moving on to medians.
It was not something I was proud of, but something I had to accept at the time of my career.
Those are your battle scars, though. Yeah. Those are that becomes part of the deal. It's funny you mentioned about having a director help you with your material, because I forget who I was watching. It was a director. And he was talking about, it was the Top Gun Maverick director.
Yeah.
Who's excellent. And he talks about that a lot of times he'd test a movie, will pay people to just come in and sit and watch it, and he just watches it in the room with them. And then he says, you can go now. He doesn't, and others doesn't even need to get their feedback, because when he has just that tangential energy, he says to himself, well, I could cut that by 10 minutes. I could cut just by having that unspoken connection to an audience makes him realize where the edits can come.
100%, and it's even it almost hurts to watch yourself do stand up, because you see that, and it's so deeply personal, because I for one talk about my life and my humanity, so it's hard to separate me as a human being from my stand up, which I think can give me success. But when you watch it and get notes, it's like, wait, do you hate me or do you hate my act, or is it both?
It's such a wild process, because in comedy in general, we've talked about this many times, is that again. So you're set up, and eventually you're getting to your quote unquote punchline, and so like even when I'm like cutting the promo for the show for the day, it's like 1 pass, 2 pass, it's shrinking. All right, setup still intact. joke is still intact, setups, and you just keep eliminating the bullcrap. So no matter how hard you think you are on yourself, you can always edit more, you know?
Exactly. It's like, oh, I don't know with all the exposition if I need every single person in the story's like mother's maiden name and their address. It's like you can cut that part out. Blake. It's not funny. Yeah.
Exactly.
By the way, if you want to check out Blake, obviously you can go tonight to Helium Comedy Club, but also you've got, stuff online, I guess, through Spotify that people can listen. There's one called Stuffed Boy.
Yes.
And I found out you found out a unique listening time period for that.
I did.
That most people listen to it.
There was a very odd where Spotify does Spotify Wrapped at the end of the year, where
it gives you all the sort of the analytics,
all the analytics. Where if you're a fan of music, you obviously find out your top 5 and all the people that you listen to. And as a quote unquote, calling myself an artist, I started stuttering. I don't know if that shows my self-esteem, but as an artist, you get to see when people listened, how much they listened, the demographics. And there was a weird period, and I think it was from 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. or something. People were listening to my album, and it's like, oh, well, that's good that's the type of person who's listening to
3 a.m. to 5 a.m.
Yeah, insomniacs or people on a bender that's who I appeal to. I don't know.
People that stayed until closing, and then they got home.
There you go.
They need more.
Yeah.
The 5150 crowd.
Exactly. They cooked a pot pie and put my comedy on in the background. A pot pie comic.
That should be the name of your next special.
I think it might have to be.
Pop Pie Comedy. Oh, my God.
You play Amish clubs. They're up very early.
Very, very
They are.
early.
They are.
They'll be your 4 a.m. crowd for sure.
I'll have to do it a cappella. I won't be able to use an electric microphone, but I'll do
one
it.
of those old school megaphones. Non-powered ones. All right. Well, listen, dude. We just number one, it's great to see you.
You too.
We wanted to help get the word out that you got a gig tonight. HeliumComedy.com to get your tickets to see Blake Wexler, which the show is at 8:00 tonight.
Yes.
Anybody else performing with you, or?
Yeah, a lot of great opening acts. Jamie Papas is one, Eddie Finn and Manny Brown. All since I moved back to Philly, you get to meet younger comedians, and they're the next crop of
good comedians in this area. Really wonderful talent.
Yeah. It's a great comedy town. Philadelphia, for my money, is one of the best comedy cities in the United States. So,
excellent. All right. Well, great to see you, man.
You too.
Have a great gig tonight.
Thank you, guys.
Let's hear it for Blake, guys. Blake Wexler on the show, HeliumComedy.com. We're going to take a break. Coming back in a moment. B-File up next.
Preston and Steve. On 93.3 WMMR.
And improved, but I couldn't find anything.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going through our text chain, and I'm like, hey, by the way, this is going on. I'm not going to tell my wife. And then Kathy immediately goes from 0 to freaking out.
Oh, yeah.
Get the F out of here. I'm not coming into work tomorrow. Who the F has bed bugs? Holy F, no, like 1,000 exclamation points. And then she says, do you know how hard it is to get rid of bed bugs? What's the company going to do about it? And when? And then Preston sends a GIF, of like a bedbug jug band.
Yeah, playing music. And then Kathy fires back, that's not funny.
It's not funny.
I think I said F you to anybody who's not taking this seriously.
And then I think Nick said, read Joe's email. And then Kathy says, F the email, F the bedbugs, and F whoever doesn't think this is a big deal. Where are we going to do our show tomorrow? Clearly, we can't go to the station, and we need an on-site location.
My house is
She was
clean.
ready.
My house is clean.
Yeah. You're ready to set up shop somewhere else.
100%. If you guys would have said, yeah, we have to do the show somewhere else, I would offer it up my house.
Oh, really? Oh, my God.
So it was one bug down the hall, right?
Yes!
Okay, I'm just asking.
Could you see Casey coming home? Diane wants to check him, so she takes out the blue light. Doesn't find any bed bugs, just semen stains.
All over my face.
We're good.
The woman was saying that they have dogs that can do all sorts of that check for bugs that actually will.
Wait a minute. I thought you meant that bed bugs use dogs to travel around.
Mush.
For a ride.
I thought you meant as piggybacking.
You've never seen the bed bug Iditarod?
No.
It's good. Yeah.
It must be majestic.
It's compelling.
Yeah, good dog, good dog. Good dog. Yeah. I love being out here in the open range. Yeah.
All right, let's do music news.
Now, Preston and Steve's Music News on 93.3 WMMR.
Hailstorm singer Lizzie Hale has confirmed in an interview that the band is compiling a special package to celebrate the 10th anniversary of its self-titled debut album. Released in 2009, the LP featured the single I Get Off. I get off.
Bill Weston, I get off.
So anyhow, Hailstorm.
I'm gonna shoot.
Oh, dude.
I get off.
All right. Now I'm thinking about Bill at the moment of ecstasy.
No!
I know.
Yes.
I know.
Bill's pillow talk.
Oh.
I get off. I'm gonna shoot.
Yeah, it's about to happen. You feel a little tingling.
Heading down the tunnel.
Another
Tunnel of love.
Barn door! Barn door!
Barn door's open.
Look at the door.
Quickly, massage my low-hanging fruit. I'm almost there.
There's no way we can do a meeting today. There's no way.
Steve just canceled the meeting.
I can't look at him ever again.
What do you think the recap's going to be like today?
Oh, Lord.
I think we got a C-.
Yeah.
Well, the Bella show is done. Maybe he's talking to him right now. Is Thursday, June 6th. Today is Tom Araya's birthday. He's in a band. Casey, could you say that name for me, please?
Yeah. It's
if you don't mind. Thank you. Anytime that I actually need to say the word Slayer,
let him do it.
I'm going to have Casey do it. I can't yell like that.
The band.
We also have Tom Araya, singer and bassist from Slayer. Ladies and gentlemen, Slayer. And he is. That's the only way you can say the name of that band. He's 53 years old today. Yeah, I can't yell like that. He is 58 years old today, by the way. So, yeah, maybe it's time to hang it up.
But it's possible.
You can only do that hardcore to a certain age, and then you're done. Slayer! Ladies and gentlemen, Slayer!
I actually never had that conversation with my father, but I just had that conversation with my son. I pulled him into a room. It was just he and I talking. I said, "Hey, listen."
You listen to me.
No. I said, "This. This is not to embarrass you.
Okay.
I'm just telling you. You're not a little kid anymore. You're turning into a young man, and so you're at a point in your life where you have to shower every single day, and you have to put deodorant on under your arms every single
right?
time."
I mean, that's a standard talk, right?
Casey, the reason we had the talk with my son, who's 12, is because he stunk.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things where it's like, dude, you need to shower more.
But it's
and
embarrassing when you
do
hear that.
When you do shower, you need to wear deodorant because there's an effect, and it's just what happens when you get a little bit older. But like, he needs to do it because he's going to get made fun of. He'll be the stinky. I don't want to have the stinky
You don't
kid.
have the stinky kid?
No.
One thing I didn't do throughout my entire school, and I've mentioned this on the air before, and that is junior high and high school, I never washed my gym clothes. Ever.
No?
Oh, I think
God.
a lot
The
of
whole
kids.
year.
The whole year. I know, right?
All right. Did you go to gym a lot?
Every day.
Every day.
Were you active in gym, or were you a cool kid standing off to the side?
No,
Okay.
no. Yeah,
You were the kid that smelled like Doritos.
Yeah, to participate. Doritos.
Yeah, that's what the gym suit would smell like if you didn't wash
We
it.
said hoagies. We go. So we say to the kids, "All right, you got to take a shower. You smell like hoagies."
We should put out a Twitter poll. What does body odor smell like? Because we've heard hoagie and Doritos. And now that I remember, I do remember associating smell with, I think, my own body odor. You ever sniff your own pit? Do a little
Yeah,
sniff
occasionally.
check?
Yeah.
Of course you have to check.
So I remember smelling when I was younger that I always thought that my own armpit smelled like onions and mustard.
Really?
Yes. To get mixed together.
Now, would you normally eat that?
Yes.
Okay, so
on hot
it's
dogs.
pleasant for you.
Yeah, so I kind of liked it.
So
Yeah.
maybe that's why.
Mine.
Maybe you did actually, you're sweating out the onions.
I didn't even think about that.
Well, you can sweat out garlic.
Yeah,
Like if you eat a very garlic-based diet, and when you sweat, you can smell like garlic.
Yeah. Which is a fairly pleasant
Can you
smell,
sweat
right?
out apple crumbles?
Yeah. Apple crumbles.
Let's try.
I don't know.
What about chocolate chip cookies?
Blueberry.
I just want to see if I'm missing an opportunity here to sweat out chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah.
So hoagies, Doritos, and mustard and onions, and I'm sure there are other people that have a scent that they basically have labeled as body odor.
Well, you know, of course, we talked about this, that the old belief is that when white people, Caucasians, get wet, they smell like dogs.
Like wet dog.
Right.
Yep, correct.
and dogs' paws smell like corn chips.
Yeah.
And that is actually true.
Yeah.
So these different things. I don't know. We tend to be enamored of our own smell, right? To some extent.
Enamored with our own? Yeah. I mean, that's why the smell of your own farts is actually really good. It's a pleasant thing.
Not always.
Well, listen, you can
every single time.
You can blow yourself out every now and then.
No, you
but
can't.
you're pretty proud of it.
Well, yes, exactly. That's the fine distinction.
That's
Is
a
even though
prize winner right there.
it may be horrible, you're like, oh my God, I'm a champion.
I've had to leave the room from my own.
You've offended yourself with your own gas?
I didn't say I wasn't proud of it. I was like, man, that was strong enough to make me leave.
Did you walk out cursing yourself?
Yeah.
What kind of animal am I?
Kind of impressed.
I honestly, Nick, I didn't think that was possible. Like, I swear to God, the worse that it smells for you, the best that it smells for me.
Okay.
Like, if it's a really bad one, I'm like, oh man, Preston's gonna be really
It's like
mad.
licking your elbow. It's almost impossible to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you have one that's coming and you can tell by the
it's gonna be
by
bad.
the heat and so on or the pressure and you know it's gonna piss me off, do you actually go, oh yeah, that was a good one?
No,
Okay.
no.
You don't take a little sneak sniff for yourself?
All right.
Oh, I always take it.
All right, we need to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I will say,
The cup and the have you cupped recently?
Sure.
Yeah.
Of course.
I never cup. I never cup. No,
You don't have to.
I don't have to. I'm an old pro.
Amateurs.
It's also a good way to run a self-diagnostic.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's a lot of relevant medical material to be gleaned from assessing your own odors.
Like,
I'm trying to make a case for cupping your fart.
I know you are.
Like, I love giving myself a Dutch oven. Like,
really?
Oh, if it's a really bad one,
you'll pull the covers up.
I will just sneak under the covers. I'll be like, I'm going to just lay here for a little bit.
Do you know what's equally fun,
You're a
Casey?
disgusting human.
Casey, crap in a pillowcase and pull it over your head.
Kathy, what do you think about the smell of your own gas?
I think you guys are disgusting humans.
Yeah.
Right now.
I think
You pull,
I think
like-
you're a liar.
I think so too.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I'm not pulling the covers over my head and enjoying my own stench like Casey.
Yes, you are.
No.
No, she'll enjoy your stench.
1000%.
No, I don't think we've talked about this before. You are very. I mean, obviously, the notion of passing gas liberally at home is not something that you do, correct?
You don't think I pass gas at home? Is that
No,
what you're
I
saying?
don't think you do. I don't think you stand in the middle of the room and go, ba-boom.
Yeah, he did it.
Hey, get over here!
I think you go into the conservatory.
Pull my finger.
Yeah.
Felicity alum. Felicity.
Tonight on a powerful Felicity. Felicity shows up late for a chemistry class.
I'm sorry. I thought it was an 8.
That's to go to detention.
Go to detention. Felicity.
Carrie Russell.
Carrie Russell. She, formerly of the long locks, who killed her career by cutting her hair, but has now grown her hair back and is doing great things with the American.
So Carrie Russell was Felicity.
Sound like
history in Russell.
It's Carrie Russell's history.
Presented by Rita that she grew her hair back and it was wonderful.
Oh, gee.
She plays a commie bitch who pretends she's one of us. Those commies.
In what?
In The Americans.
Oh, the Americans.
You don't watch that?
No,
She's a spy.
I don't watch that.
It's like that John Travolta, Kelly Preston movie.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
The Experts.
The Experts.
But she may join J.J. Abrams and Star Wars Episode 9.
We forget that it was J.J. Abrams who created and wrote a number of the
Felicity episodes.
I did forget that, yeah.
Yeah.
No word yet on whether she'll tackle a hero or a villain in the epic franchise. The movie begins shooting in London this month, by the way.
Unless we forget also that Carrie Russell won Mr. Skin's Best Butt Shot, I believe, in the Anatomy Awards.
Get a nice pooper.
No kidding. Casey says
got
she
a hell of a pooper. kind of butt you want to spend a weekend spelunking at, if you know what I'm saying.
And we are back from vacation.
We are.
So the...
Oh, yeah, this is nice. It's good stuff.
Look, there's some soccer players in there from Thailand.
These are the kids. I'm going to help you out.
You guys all right?
Wait, I see light from the badge.
Oh, God.
We can do this.
Wow.
It's a new survival story unlike any other.
Look this way, kids. we go. Is it a stalagmite or a stalactite?
WMMR.
All right, thank you, Kathy.
So funny over there.
What happened?
My mind started wandering. Casey had mentioned music in the 1950s, and I think one of my all-time favorite conversations we had on this show was about Chuck Berry.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Did that come up accidentally or randomly? Like,
No, he had. I
Did we
think
know
that's.
him?
I think that's when he passed.
Okay.
Was it?
It may have been on the anniversary of his death or birthday or something like that. Or yeah, maybe it was when he died. And yeah, because we were like, what a loving tribute to the one of the founders of rock and roll. And but what I was laughing about is the first thing that popped in my mind was actually a Little Richard clip, which is the wop bop a loo bop, lop bam, and then the big fart sound effect that came after that.
Wop, bop, loo, bop,
Because
wop,
we
bam.
had audio of Chuck Berry with a hooker, and he farted.
We have that.
And it's legit. This is Chuck Berry. Do we have it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you want to hear it.
Yeah.
Are you bathing?
Yes.
You gotta get clean.
Yes, I do.
I'll give you something to bathe from. Kiss her. You my girl?
Yes.
You love me?
Yes.
Open your mouth.
Oh, my God.
You can smell my fart.
Oh, my God.
Open your mouth.
Open your. Oh, my God.
Wow. One more time.
Open your mouth. You can smell my fart.
My God.
I mean,
that's what he was.
I mean, come on.
At least he asked, do you love me? Do you love me?
I was going to say, he didn't ask her to open her mouth.
He asked her to open
He
her
told
mouth.
her to.
Yeah.
Right. But he was
Open
making
your
sure
mouth.
that she loved him enough to do that.
By the way, are you peckish at all? Because I can give you something to eat.
Yeah.
We have a still screenshot from
Yeah.
the video. It's him on his back, legs straight up in the air. Her head is down there.
Yeah.
And that's when he said,
You love me?
Yes.
Open your mouth. You can smell my fart.
oh my, did he say you can smell my
Yeah.
fart?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're welcome.
But so I got that for you.
Chuck Berry.
Here, I made this for you.
Do you think I made that cookie was made with love?
Oh, Lordy Lord.
You have to compartmentalize and realize that he had his on stage moments and then his farting in hookers' mouths moments.
Oh, wait. We have a Little Richard Chuck Berry origin. You guys want to hear this one?
Yeah.
This might have been what you were talking about.
40 seconds long. All right, here we go.
We'll call her a hooker, is going to town on his manliness, so she's right in the sweet spot, and then he lets he gives her a little bop bap a woom bop.
I have to hear what I have to hear is the audio of this.
Ba boom, bop bop a loo bap wop bap. Boom! Bop bap a loo bap a wop bap.
Now we need the actual. We need. Even though it's not
audio.
Chuck Berry.
Yeah.
We need Little Richard saying a wop bop a loo bop a lop bam, so we can put these together. But we eventually did.
We did?
We did. Yeah, absolutely.
And it might be this. Oh.
What?
Well, with
Is
the new
this the same
system,
day?
yeah.
Hang
The
on.
difference between
This might be the same. Hang on.
Little Richard and Chuck Berry is the word is that people that encountered Chuck Berry could be a dick. He really could be.
big time.
Yeah, and absolutely.
Yes. Yep.
That Little Richard was a lot more, certainly he had his ego, but a lot more welcoming and a lot cooler to hang out with.
Yep.
Unless you were a hooker, then Chuck Berry really.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Yes, and he would love to fart in your mouth. But that's a whole other story.
Do you remember when Chuck Berry died and we were playing back the clips? Oh, this was like years later. This is us recapping it. Hang on. Of him and the hooker together. We ended up using Little Richard.
I know. It was the only thing we had.
The other thing, it was wop bob loo wop wop bam.
Do we have it? Let's see if we have that.
Do we have it?
This is like looking into a mirror with the mirror behind you.
This is Inception right now.
Yeah. Wait.
Well, here, yeah, there's Tutti Frutti. So
Okay. Let's try this one. Here we go.
that's just the
there you
song.
go, yeah.
So, yeah.
This is a clip within a clip.
Here's part two.
Am I home listening to this?
I think you are.
Is it this one?
That one's.
Do we want to take a spin down this lane as well?
I hate to go down this path, but of all of them, who was known to be the most depraved? Or
All right, I'm going to fast forward through this.
Last B was.
Yeah, I'm sure that was
Okay. Here's that.
Here we are. I think we got it.
All right, here we go.
Let's see if this is it. Hang on. Do this one more time.
Okay.
Right, Kath?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
You're gonna do it.
I'm not into it.
Oh. I thought you said I'm gonna do it.
I thought she was.
Yeah.
Oh. I thought you said I'm going to do
I thought you, yeah. Kathy, do you love me?
Normally, since age Preston and Steve member Kathy.
Yeah, no, that it's so hard to believe that, but it's true and it's documented, and that's why we bring it back occasionally just for the kids.
Sorry to derail that, guys.
Yes,
that's all right.
We do need to do
You
the
gotta
bizarre
go with
file.
it.
So I'm ready for that now. Let's go.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
All right, brought to you this morning by the Wildwood Fishing and Boat Expo at the Wildwoods Convention Center, which is coming up on Saturday, January 7th from 9 to 5, and Sunday the 8th from 9 to 2. And online fishing expo wildwood.com to get your tickets. So I'll start with a boat story.
Oh, well, there you go.
A hot tub boat adventure.
Yes.
So have you seen these things?
I love them.
Yeah, it's actually a small motorized hot tub.
Yeah.
All right.
That you can take out into the water and drive around in it. But
You're not going to take it into the ocean, but you take it on a lake.
Yeah, something with a smooth surface. And so anyhow, a hot tub boat adventure among friends ended with a 911 call while the passengers and company that rented them the boat were left pointing fingers at one another. According to the group on the boat, the trip was chaotic. They smelled what they described as an electrical burning smell, saw smoke, and eventually an explosion.
Wow.
Dr. Scott
With
Smith
all that water?
said just a boom. A ball of fire went through the thing. The boat lifted up out of the water, and when it came back down, half of the water from the hot tub was gone, and the lake was coming in.
I would just naturally think that'd be one of your safer boats to be on when there's a fire.
So Smith said he had suffered a concussion. He also had a fractured wrist. His fiancee, Dr. April Hunziker, had bruises up and down her legs along with a sprained ankle. She, too, got an MRI and was told she suffered a concussion.
So what set it off?
Oh, they don't know. A picture with what appears to be a crack in the boat's hull was shared. The passengers claimed that Lake Union hot tub boats didn't have enough life jackets for everyone on board, and that no one answered the phone when they called for help throughout the ordeal. Instead, their calls went to a voicemail. At first, Lake Union hot tub boats declined to comment. Later, they responded with a statement including that they went to assist with the tow after receiving a call that the group had some motor trouble. They didn't answer direct questions, but sent a follow-up email clarifying that the boat never sank. Well, hey, the boat never sank, so you got to at least give us that.
You didn't die.
And the statement made a point indicating the group had been drinking.
Well, that's what they do.
But they said they returned to the dock safely and everyone was happy with no reported issues when they left for the night. A member of the company wrote that the group told our staff that they were heading out to the bars to continue drinking. They had been drinking throughout the experience. That dialogue of the story has frustrated some of those on the boat. At the time of the 911 call, it was pitch black and water was near freezing. Smith said that if they had panicked and attempted to swim to shore, they may not have made it. He said it wasn't a hot tub full of crazy, irresponsible people. According to Lake Union's hot tub boat website, alcoholic beverages are allowed on the boats unless they're in glass containers. Whatever the case, the Seattle Fire Department was initially called to help the panicked group of friends. They noted online that a bystander had successfully begun to tow the boat ashore and that the group had been taken aboard.
So you're on a boat. You're in a boat that's filled with water.
Right.
And then, there's so many improbabilities to this.
Yeah, it's not going to sink
Yeah.
because it's made to be filled with water and float. So
There's still an engine and there's stuff that's flammable.
Sure.
you know?
Yeah, it could be dangerous for sure. Absolutely. 2 people in Florida were arrested after one of them made a 911 call to get help with moving their belongings from a home that they were burglarizing. Deputies responded to a home Saturday after a 911 call was made, but nobody spoke. At the home, the deputies concluded that nobody lived there, but they
No,
found
this isn't my home. I'm robbing this home.
they found a male suspect and his girlfriend inside the home after entering it through an unlocked door. Deputies had been searching for the male suspect after identifying him on security video as a burglar at a Dollar General store where several items were stolen earlier in the day.
He robbed a Dollar General store?
Dollar store. While talking to deputies, the female suspect...
That must be, instead of Ocean's 11, that's Ocean's 1.
Told them that she had called 911 for the purpose of having law enforcement help them move their belongings from the house they were burglarizing. They also went to get... I mean, that's the type of person that robs a dollar store. They also wanted to get a ride to the airport so that they could spend the weekend in New York. The male suspect was charged with burglary, the related theft related to the store, and also burglary of a residence. The female suspect was charged with burglary of a residence. A woman in Australia got the wild surprise after mixing up her golden retriever's faux Tasmanian devil plush toy with an actual, real, live Tasmanian devil.
Oh, my God.
On Wednesday evening inside her home in Hobart, Australia, on the island state of Tasmania, Kristen Lynch went to reach for what she thought was her pup's trinket when it suddenly raced away. She said, I went to reach for for it, and the devil shot underneath the couch. The Tasmanian devil is the world's largest carnivorous marsupial. It can grow to around the size of a large house cat. Utterly shocked at her discovery, Lynch let out a scream that woke up her family, who rushed to see what caused the uproar.
And they're tenacious fighters.
To get rid of the furry intruder, Lynch's husband carefully escorted the Tasmanian devil, who's known to fly into a rage when threatened by a predator. He got it out of the house with a broom. Meanwhile, Lynch and her children gathered on top of the kitchen table as he shooed it out of the house. They're kind of cute, actually. Yeah. So, but everybody lived. They're all
yes,
good.
Of course.
All right, and then finally we'll do one more story and wrap it up here. A gentleman named Karen Alverson, his New Year's Eve did not go as expected when a firework exploded in his hand while he was celebrating, causing him to lose more than half of his fingers on one hand. He said, I lit off 2 fireworks, and then the third one was like a dud, and I went to, check it out, and it, just blew up in my hand.
And, I have 4 fingers now.
Alverson was shooting off the firework when one did not fully go off. When he went to go pick it up, the mortar shell exploded. He picked up a mortar shell.
Come on.
He said, I couldn't see anything, and my hands were numb. I finally got, sight for, 10 seconds. I'm reading this verbatim, by the way. And then I see, one of my hands was, missing. Once Alverson came to, he ran inside to get his girlfriend, Teresa, and they rushed to the hospital. He said, on the way to the hospital, I could just, feel going out, I felt like I was, blacking out almost. I get in the car, the truck, and he's not a teenager.
No.
I get in the car, the truck, and then there's a phone charger in there. So I started to tourniquet my arm off with a phone charger. I start looping it around my own arm.
Come on, man.
Alverson ended up losing his thumb, index finger, and middle finger. He was airlifted to Salt Lake City and is uncertain if he will be able to keep his remaining fingers.
You big dummy.
Alverson does not have health insurance. Says that he won't be able to work construction for a long time. His girlfriend has started a GoFundMe to help him out. If he can. So there, yeah, she likes him. And that is what I have in the bizarre file for now. All right, another break. We're going to take one. When we return, lesson question, trashy music news. We got some stuff to give away. We'll do it when we get back. All right, hanging out.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
The MMR short code 39.
You know that? Yeah, that's the old stalactite.
It's tight. It hangs on, and stalagmite might make it to the ceiling if it keeps growing.
So. And all this is taking place in
Felicity's butt.
Okay, yeah.
Text says, driving my kids to daycare, my 2-year-old is calling my 1-year-old a commie bitch. Thanks.
Sorry about that.
Sorry.
Well, they're learning about a time in our history that was very important.
This is one of these meetings here with the town where people can get up and speak their mind. And this young man got up and he had a take on legalizing prostitution.
So I propose this. The city allows for licensed masseurs to give genital massages if the masseur and the client both agree to it. We let someone get naked and have every other part of their body touched and rubbed by a massage therapist. Hell, we let proctologists spend their day men and sticking things. So if someone wants to yank a guy's crank, I say let him.
Oh my God. That really is as inspiring as FDR's speech on December 8th, 1941.
I love the last part of that. Hang on.
So if someone wants to yank a guy's crank, I say let him.
I say
And so I say to you, if someone wants to yank a man's crank, I say let them do it.
Okay.
And so by this time,
legit?
well,
maybe.
You know what? I don't care. But he was definitely in front of this group. He was prepared. He seemed, and then he goes on. It's not just enough to state that's your intent or what you'd like to see happen. Yeah. You have to provide.
You got to back it up.
Examples.
Yeah, some context.
Some context to it. Yes.
Here's clip 2.
Picture this: a big old sweaty fat guy would get with your hand actually be that much worse than giving him a full body massage, getting up in there under the folds of fat, or being the proctologist sticking your finger.
Holy hell.
If a grown adult wants a job, another grown adult is willing to give one for money, then let them. That would truly be a happy ending for everyone.
Okay.
Oh my God.
The crowd loved it.
There is, I think, legitimacy to his claim, by the way. Are we going there or are we not going there?
I want to hear. What do you think?
I like the way you.
Casey started doing
like a velociraptor all of a sudden.
His head was going left and right. Are we going here?
Well, yeah. I mean, dude, why is that illegal?
Rubbing tugs?
Yeah.
There is that. This is an age-old question about the in fact, right before the Magna Carta came into being, there was the rub and tug.
I mean, there is a separation of church and state, right? So, is morality a church thing?
Wow, this got a lot deeper than I thought. We were simply playing a goofball, but you want to work out whether prostitution or the sex trade should be legitimized.
Well, maybe we should put them in malls.
Let's talk about abortion. Let's lighten things up a bit.
Once you've starred in a movie that's nominated for an Oscar, it's safe to say that you're famous, right?
Yeah.
Well, Saoirse Ronan, who is 24 years old, still doesn't feel famous, though. Yeah, she's adorable.
Yeah.
I love her and the accent.
It's wonderful.
She's just thinking.
It's at a garden party, asking inappropriate questions to Meghan Markle.
I love how they drop the G on ing words. Ronan continued saying she avoided reading about herself. She said,
I was farting.
What was that sound?
I was farting. Farting hard. You just know that'd be adorable. Just outside, standing in the glen, farting.
In the glen.
The glen. The morning dew collected on the leaves and grass. Yeah. And just decided it'd be a good time for farting. It does sound better, doesn't it?
Oh,
it does.
Oh, it needs to be a song.
Where were you, Auntie Saoirse? I was outside farting, dear. Farting hard.
There needs to be a song called Farting in the Glen.
Farting in the Glen.
We're excited, ladies and gentlemen, to have in our studio actor David Harbour.
Thank you.
I'm so excited I said good afternoon when it's 9:20 in the morning.
There are a bunch of footlongs outside the studio, which is like
the
9 in the morning footlong, though.
Yeah. Do you know Pink's in Hollywood?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
That's them.
Are those from there?
They just expanded
Oh,
to
well,
the
then
east.
bring me one. I mean, come on. It's still a hot dog.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's not a... It's classic breakfast fare, but it works. It's very good.
We never actually get breakfast food here. It's always like
It's
that.
always a dinner thing, but it all works.
And all that stuff.
We've been up since 3:45.
Yeah, exactly. So it is kind of dinner for you guys.
David, where are you from? Where did you grow up?
I'm from White Plains, New York.
Know it well.
Yeah, do you know it?
I'm from New York, yeah.
Okay,
I know
West is a guy like 45 minutes out from the city, suburban very boring place to grow
nice.
up.
If you work in the city, it's a nice area to be in.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I couldn't stand it when I was growing up because it's like that suburban thing, you know, and you're like 14 years old and all you want to do is act out. And so I would take that Metro North train down to New York, though.
Oh, yeah.
When I was like 15. And, you know, back then you could do a lot worse things than you can nowadays. We could go to bars and I mean, they didn't have any of the rules they have nowadays.
So it wasn't the creative arts that were driving you to the city? It was the party?
I would tell my parents that I was going to the Metropolitan Museum of Art. So yes, the arts were driving. If my parents are listening.
Well, we're thrilled to have you in here.
Yeah.
We're massive Stranger Things fans, and we're also just massive fans of your body of work, which is just so much great stuff. And I think you've described yourself, or have been described.
It's going swimmingly so
for so long. Who just
Neumann University, come discover the new you and the NU, new you. And of course, WMMR. And there's lots of goodies available and links to stuff like that at WMMR.com. So please take a gander over there when you get a chance. All right, so let's see. We are going to offer up a lesson question for today. And let me see what I want to go with here as far as the question we're going to ask, and I'll tell you what we're giving away. How about this? What was Bowie's follow-up hit to John, I'm Only Dancing? Think that's too hard?
I think that I think I'm always amazed by how sharp people are.
I could even add the first part of it is what's for dinner.
Okay.
And then what's the name?
Yeah.
Who's dinner for? 215-263-WMMR. What was Bowie's follow-up hit to John, I'm Only Dancing? All right, 215-263-WMMR. If you happen to know the answer, feel free to give us a call because we are going to give away as a prize 4-pack of tickets to see the Wings home opener Saturday, January 14th at Wells Fargo Center.
The trash business is a gold mine. 93.3 WMMR with Preston and Steve's Hollywood Trash.
All right, brought to you by the Wildwood Fishing and Boat Expo at the Wildwoods Convention Center. It's Saturday, January 7th, this Saturday from 9 to 5, Sunday the 8th from 9 to 2. And you can get information online at fishingexpowildwood.com. What's happening this morning, Steve?
All right. The Real Housewives of New Jersey star Teresa Giudice says she and her new husband, her and her new husband, Louis Reales, are hypersexual and spend all of their time at home completely naked. Giudice says she has the only dining room chairs with skid marks.
Hey!
Britney Spears' husband Sam Asghari addressing rumors that that now with Britney's father out of the way, he is the one in complete control of her. Asghari says if he really was in complete control, she would probably occasionally cover her vagina.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And finally, Rick Singer, the mastermind behind the Varsity Blues college admission scandal that saw both Lori Loughlin and Felicity Huffman doing time, was he himself sentenced to 3 years in prison. Singer says he realizes he is a disappointment to his fellow alumni at Harvard, Stanford, Yale, Duke, and all the other universities he pretended to go to. And that's your Hollywood Trash.
All righty. We shall see if someone does indeed know the answer to this question. I'm curious if you'll be able to get it. It's kind of a tough one. What was the Bowie's follow-up hit to John, I'm Only Dancing? We will go to, let me see here. We're going to go to Andrew and see if he happens to know the answer. Hey, Andrew, good morning.
Good morning, you guys.
Gadzooks, bud. All right, Andrew, so what's Bowie's follow-up hit to John, I'm Only Dancing?
What's for dinner, Maud?
What's for dinner, Maud? Yes. Hang on, Andrew. You got it right. 4-pack of tickets for the Philadelphia Wings home opener Saturday, January 14th, Wells Fargo Center. You want to be there for all the hard-hitting lacrosse action and affordable family fun? Get your tickets now at wingslax.com.
Now, Preston and Steve's Music News on 93.3 WMMR.
Brought to you this morning by the Wildwood Fishing and Boat Expo at the Wildwoods Convention Center. Saturday, January 7th from 9 to 5. Sunday, the 8th from 9 to 2. And you can get information online at fishingexpowildwood.com. I only have 2 items for you this morning, so it's going to be kind of a short music news. Marilyn Manson accuser Ashley Morgan Smithline's case has been dismissed. According to Page Six, a California judge tossed out Smithline's sexual abuse lawsuit after she was advised to find new legal representation. After she failed to find new representation or to represent herself, case was thrown out. So it's kind of like she just kind of gave up on it.
It is.
Like not even formally doing anything.
So at the beginning of a lot of this, what was speculated was, where is the line between consensual and when you're in that situation, how do you determine the line has been crossed?
Exactly. Unless you are you verbally saying, I don't like this, don't do this, I don't want to do this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And I exactly know what you mean. And I think, and so I certainly have my feelings about, to me, the second you hear anything that's someone that's not happy with what you're doing, you stop. But if that is part of the play, I don't know.
But none of this got a chance to play out in court.
So I wonder if her team or her lawyers were trying. Let me ask you, and I forget, was she the only one with an actual court proceeding against Manson?
No.
Because we heard a number of other people.
She was the 4th woman
The
to file.
4th,
Yeah.
okay.
So there's more stuff out there. The lawsuit was dismissed without prejudice, meaning that she can refile the same claim at a later time if she wishes to do so. Smithline accused Manson of raping and abusing her during their 2-year on and off relationship.
Yeah, I mean, it's very possible that she ran out of money, or she knew that she was not going to be able to have the money to continue the fight.
Possibly.
Yeah, I mean, you have all of these people saying, and these women who are clearly traumatized by whatever the experience was with Manson. And you listen, he's owed his day in court, but you shudder to think if someone was doing stuff like that, they would get away with it.
And so, Steve, she was the 4th to file a suit, but Manson has been accused of sexual assault by at least 15 other women.
15?
Including Evan Rachel Wood.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Did Rose McGowan
She, oddly enough, I
She's
think
not
Preston,
listed.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think her experience was, she does not discount any of what these other women are saying, but I think she had a different experience.
Okay. And then finally, just one more thing. Sharon Osbourne has confirmed that her and Ozzy's daughter, Kelly, has welcomed her first child with her boyfriend, Sid Wilson. Osbourne gave birth to a baby boy named Sydney. So I wonder if her boyfriend is Sid.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it's Sydney Jr. or it doesn't say.
Or Sydney Sr.
According to E! News, Osbourne said...
Somebody should do that. Name the baby Senior.
It's funny here because it mentions 3 Osbournes. It says Sharon Osbourne, Ozzy Osbourne, Kelly Osbourne, and then it says, according to E! News, Osbourne said...
Okay. Well, maybe they're talking about Joan Osborne.
No, they all said it at the same time.
They said they're just so great, so great.
So very great.
Okay.
So good.
And then Sharon added, so it must have been Ozzy.
Yeah.
Sharon added, she won't let a picture go out of him. No, and I'm so proud of her.
So proud.
Okay, so there you go. She's had a baby.
So
for
good.
her. Yes.
Steve, there's a kid in my neighborhood, and his name was Bobby Sr., and he was a junior.
Oh, really?
So he was Bobby Sr. Jr., and his dad was Bobby Sr. Sr.
I like that.
Yeah, and it was just like, all right. Yeah, but it was an interesting choice by the parents to name their son Bobby, because then he became Bobby Sr. Jr.
My next door neighbor was Bobby Sr. But his last name was Senior.
Wait.
His last name was Senior.
Yeah, that's the same.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Our neighbor was Bobby Sr.
His last name is Senior. I just thought, okay.
So his last name was Senior.
Gotcha.
And Bobby Sr. had a son. Named
Bobby
him
Sr.
Bobby
Jr.
And also named him Bobby. So he became Bobby Sr. Jr.
Bobby
and the
Sr.
father
Jr.
was Bobby Sr. Sr.
It's like Uncle Baby Billy.
Yeah.
That's
From
right.
Righteous Gemstones.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah. All right, that's it in music news. A quick one for you. Let's take a break. We'll be ready to wrap up the program, and we'll get the letter today for that really cool Word of the Week prize When we return, you could end up seeing every summer concert at the Camden Waterfront.
Amazing.
If you win, and we give that away tomorrow. But you need the letter next. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
You know, and we have a sense that you've curated the things that you're in, and whether that's the truth or not, you just always end up in good stuff. And Stranger Things is just such a. No one could have figured this bizarre pop culture bank shot that took place.
Yes.
And that they went with, except for perhaps Winona Ryder, moderately known. And it just took off. So when you got the script for the first time, I understand it blew you away, but did you think you were going to get it? You couldn't have had an idea it would be what it has become.
No.
Yeah.
The complete opposite, to be honest. I mean, the first thing is you get the script, and I thought it was a really good script. And so my first thought was there's no way they're going to choose me to be like the male adult lead in this. They'll get somebody who's a star. And so I kind of blew off the audition a little bit. I mean, you know, I do what I do, but there was a relaxation in the audition where it was like, you know, those situations where you think like this will never happen. So I might as well just do what I want to do.
And that must help. That must help in a way.
It does, because it makes you more relaxed. You have no expectations. You don't have a goal. You're just like doing what you do. And then I wound up getting it, and it was incredible. And then as we were shooting it, I remember around episode 4 or 5 having a bit of a breakdown and thinking, none of this works.
Really?
Really? Yeah. I mean, because I remember, Hopper's a really messy guy in many ways, like everything from his body to, his personality.
Well, the very first, my impression of your character was like, this guy's a douchebag, because she comes and says, my kid is missing, and he's like, he's out running around or whatever. I'm like, oh my God, he's going to be that guy. Yeah. He's more complex than that, and really cares. But you're right. He kind of had that really messy attitude about him, but he's the character morph. So initially you thought that wasn't going to translate?
Yeah, and so like around episode, I think it was 5 though, we were doing a scene, and I'm neurotic, and occasionally I'll ask people like, what'd you think? And I went up to my hair person, this woman Sarah, who's lovely person, but I was like, what do you think? And she just turned to me and just shook her head, and she was like, yeah, I don't think it's going to work.
Wow.
And I was like, what? You mean the whole thing?
Thanks for the confidence.
But I understood where she's got. You're in a bubble down there, and you just have these days where you're like, what we're doing is stupid. Nobody's going to like it. And then before the show came out, there was no advertisements.
No.
And I couldn't get an interview like this on a popular radio show. Like, nobody wanted to talk to me about this show.
That was the beauty of it. I found out about it through word of mouth.
Exactly.
So it started to catch. And it was that. Now, this actually speaks to, you were a child of the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of people remember all of this. It's at once a tribute to the work of Stephen King, and it's this pop culture maelstrom of things that are all pulled together and
Spielberg,
to Spielberg, and shot in a way that all the things that we love, but done in a great way. So there'd be no way to know it. But the fact that it did happen that way organically, I think, made it more firmly entrenched, and that's why we're rabid for season 3.
You and the Netflix season 1 marketing department apparently had the same thought, because that's what that's what they claimed was I don't know if that's just a way of getting out of spending any money on the show, but they claimed that was kind of their strategy, was to have people discover it. And I have to say, it is very gratifying. It was very gratifying to have it be something that wasn't hyped at all. And just to have people stumble across it on Netflix, and then the social media aspect of it. They just told their friends, and it was all over like Facebook and Twitter. Like, what is this?
Yeah.
And I think in this world where everything is so hyped, it's nice to have ownership and discover something that almost feels like a little pearl you found in an oyster, like a surprise,
So let me ask you then, here's the conundrum now. Now it is a thing that's hyped.
I know, now we're talking about it. Oh,
right.
God.
But whereas season 2 is always, everyone's like going, okay, what's season season 2 kicked ass.
Yeah.
I know.
And it was.
And guess what happens in season 3?
Grabs the bed.
We jump the shark. No, it's my character gets on water skis.
Nice.
and literally
One of the
jumps
top,
in.
and there's a great white shark in the lake.
All right.
Who knew?
Yeah.
In Hawkins
Are you,
Lake.
are you wearing a leather jacket?
I am.
Okay.
Surprisingly.
It's amazing.
No, honestly, I just finished because they just sent me. Because they like to send the finished episodes to everyone else before me,
Right.
But that's just no. But they just sent me all the episodes. I just finished them last night, actually, and it is so damn good.
Yeah.
Wow. The trailer
It is
alone.
so damn good, and you like, the end is.
How does it end? What happens?
Okay, so here's what happens.
You make it up the chart.
Yeah. By the way, I would like to correct you on one little thing. Prior to this, the first season coming out, we totally would have had you on our show.
You're a liar.
No.
You are in some of our favorite things.
When the first trailer for Black Mass came out, and the dinner scene with you and Johnny Depp, and I'll just sort of leave it at that because I know you wanted to hit on this, Steve.
Oh no,
but
no, we're gonna go over all your stuff because
Yeah.
we're big fans. But yes, no, Casey's right. We were fans before Stranger Things. It just cements the adoration. But to that point, you go through these things. This has been your quantum leap.
Yes,
you know. I mean, but you were that kind of guy. You were on Broadway and you know working that whole deal. When you went in to I know you had an issue with working with kids initially, right? Because kids can be a liability, right?
Initially.
I mean, because I find. You've got to get the right. I'm so quick to hate a kid in a thing. if he's, you know what I'm saying? If he's
I do know what you mean. I know exactly.
You got to get an angel.
Let's sync with the music as the system here is. So you guys both hit the. I'm trying. There's something positive,
I
right?
hit the button at the same time as the thing automatically triggered.
Yes.
That's it. I feel so much better now. 93.3 WMMR. I was going to backsell that song. As we say in the business, backselling means talking about the song that just played, and that was Zero from Smashing Pumpkins.
Now, you're way back selling.
You're way backselling, yes. So anyhow, I would like to thank Mr. Blake Wexler for being on the program today. Blake is playing at Helium Comedy Club tonight. He's got a show at 8 o'clock, and Blake's the local guy. He used to be one of our interns. He's great. He's a very, very funny, super nice guy. Go support him. Have a good time. It's still going to be a nice, warm evening out. You can walk around the city after or before the show and make a night of it. So why not go ahead and do that? Yeah. So we thank Blake for coming by today. And that's all that I have to do, really, other than the letter of the day. So I got no stall tactics.
Listen, for a day on which we all sort of laid claim to the fact that we hit what would traditionally be the Wednesday wall after coming back from vacation. The problem is when we revert to a regular schedule, pandemonium ensues.
It does.
And so coming back on our early schedule can cause issues. And this morning we were all going, holy crap. But it was a fun show.
Yeah, had a good time for sure. All right, so we'll do the letter. You going to handle this case?
Yep.
Here we go.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Now, the Daily Letter.
All right, the Preston and Steve show is brought to you today by the letter
M, as in Mr.
All right, and we are going to give away tomorrow a pair of lawn seats for the Freedom Mortgage Pavilion Summer Concert Season 2023. Lawn Pass gives fans guaranteed access to over 30 of this summer's most incredible concerts, and it's on sale now while supplies last at lawnpasslivenation.com should you be so inclined. So we'll give that away on tomorrow. Excited about that. Let me see. I want to thank our sponsors. Preston and Steve Show is brought to you today by Acme Markets, fresh foods, local flavors, and also brought to you by Dunkin'. And the Preston and Steve Show, of course, runs on Dunkin'. Tomorrow is a Friday, and we'll fill it with Friday love.
Oh,
that's what we're doing.
Jammed to the brim.
No sad bro.
Yes.
None of that. All right, that's it. We're done. Rage on. Have yourself a great day. We'll see you tomorrow, gang. Bye-bye.